pissing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like pissing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. We in this thing. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's popping? Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. Representing the Coma. We up in this thing. Much love. All right. This one right here, fam. You know, this is Saturday Saints Talk, man. You know, we do Coffee with Q. Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all. Y'all, please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to hit the share button as well, man. We up in this thing. Shout out to the family members. What's up, Rock? Good to see you, fam. Appreciate you being in the stream up in this one, man. Big ups to you. All right. He says, good morning, Who Dat Nation and Big Q. Y'all take care of business this weekend. And we'll take care of Atlanta. All right. There you go, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. That'll work right there, man. So shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you for being in the stream, man. All right, big ups. All right, Infamous is in this thing as well. Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you, Elite. What's up, brother Rashad? How you doing, sir? He said, well, yeah, I'm here, bro. I'm here. All right, Rolf, shout out to you. King Morrison in this thing. How you doing, Debbie? Shout out to the queens out there. RC was popping. Good to see you, brother St. Doug in this thing. Rain 1134. How you doing, fam? Appreciate you. Happy holidays to you. Jermaine was popping, fam. Appreciate you. Brother Thomas is in this thing as well. What's up, brother Prophet? How you doing, man? Good morning to you, sir. OG to the third degree. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate all of the fantastic family members for joining me in this early episode of the show. We've been doing this for several weeks in a row, and we up in this thing. So shout out to the fam. All right, so anyway, we're going to start it off with the injury report, family, the injury report that occurred. The Saints released on Friday, and they have, for week 15, bunch of players on this list. Isaiah Foskey, the snowman there with a quadricep, he'll be shut down and is out for the game. Unfortunate. Isaiah Foskey, Kendre Miller, man, they've been in and out a majority of these games, just not being available, and we know the prospects of them are bright. Chris Olave with an ankle shut down this entire week of practice. He's listed as questionable with that ankle issue. Andrews Pete fully practiced from the illness. Taysom Hill is back. He went from limited Thursday to fully practiced on Friday. Taysom Hill is a big part of what the Saints do. Good to see him back. Cam Jordan, kind of dealing with that ankle issue. He was limited all throughout the week. Rashid Shaheed went from limited to fully practiced, which could be a good thing, because we never know what could happen with Chris Olave with that ankle. He might miss this matchup against the Giants, and then Rashid Shaheed is coming back. So having him there might be addition by subtraction. We'll see as we move forward. And remember, the Saints have, including the game on Sunday, what is it, Monday, Tuesday, they got like a 4 or 5 day window, not even that, maybe 4 days. The Sunday matchup against the Giants, and then Thursday matchup up against the Rams. That's a Thursday night affair. So the Saints got 2 games really quick that they're gonna have to rebound and get together. So this is gonna be an interesting 4 or 5 days right here for the black and gold. If they serious about it, fam, if the Saints are serious about winning, It's now is the time. It's no more of this stuff. Hey man, we got to believe. Number one, this is not church. Number two, this is a football team that needs to stop playing games and they need to execute properly. They need to stop making all these excuses. Need to stop asking the Who Dat Nation and all of the fantastic supporters out there to keep supporting them. We're not going to support junk. We want to see you produce. We've given you time. It's not like this is the first week or the second week or the third week or the fourth week. This is where we have a month worth of games, regular season games remaining in the season. And if you don't show it now, then what's the purpose? So we need to see a different type of a Saints team getting to and winning these games. Everything is out front of them right now. So, man, shout out to our family members on Instagram. We up in this thing. Much love to y'all. Appreciate you. I see you, fam. Much love. All right, so anyway, Jamal Williams is questionable in this matchup, as you can see, limited all throughout practice with a groin issue. The Saints did pick up Robinson, a 4-year running back that played with the Jacksonville Jaguars and another squad there, and they bringing him here. Perhaps he'll have more, not a lot of reps, but perhaps he'll be able to contribute to the Saints running back from some kind of way. The last couple of games we just had Elvin and Jamal Williams right there. Perhaps we can use a third back like Robinson to kind of get in there and make something happen. Ryan Ramczyk, they're saying not injury related. He just had rest, but he's been dealing with a knee issue. He was limited and listed as questionable. We talked about Jamal and Peyton Turner, who's another guy that the Saints were dealing with. He had a toe issue. He was limited, and there's a report indicating that Peyton Turner is going to be back for the Saints. So Foskey's out, Peyton Turner's. And I was just asking about Peyton Turner. Like, what happened to Peyton Turner that he had to miss all of this time? But he's finally back with a month worth of games. So hopefully we can definitely use Peyton Turner. When Peyton Turner is healthy, he's a force out there. He is a force out there when he's healthy. So we can get him into the rotation. We know Carl Granderson's been playing really well. Cam is really suffering with that ankle issue. So having Peyton Turner back, that could help us out big time. All right, so anyway, let's keep it going, man. And, of course, looking on the other side of things with the Giants, man, they're playing pretty good right now. Cordell Flott, the defensive back, was limited. Dexter Lawrence, the big defensive lineman, is questionable. Offensive lineman Evan Neal is limited and listed as doubtful for the matchup. Linebacker Azeez Ojulari fully practiced. Robinson, the big defensive lineman, was limited. The wide receiver Paris Campbell fully practiced. Linebacker Isaiah Simmons, pretty good linebacker, was limited with an ankle issue. And then you see Darren Waller with a hamstring. He's listed, which is as questionable. And that'll be interesting because if the Giants, and we'll preview the Saints and Giants matchup, by the way, family. We'll talk about that on the stream, but it'll be interesting to see how the Giants and DeBoer utilize. But they're gonna look at a lot of the tape, fam, and I'm gonna just tell you what they're gonna look at to try to attack the Saints. Saints are not a difficult team to game plan for, to be honest with you, and they've showed over several games, especially toward the back end of the season, how they could be taken advantage of. So we're going to cover that, and hopefully the Saints could do something different to kind of get that out of the way. And, of course, you see Wandale Robinson, the wide receiver, is limited with a quadricep issue as well. So this is our injury report currently. A lot of pluses in this thing as well moving forward as we keep going in this thing. So anyway, shout out to the fam, man. Let's look, and of course, right before we get into it, we're going to pop into in here from Dennis Allen. But this is the thing that, we looking at here. We knew that DeVito is the guy, the young quarterback that's in there for the Giants. Giants are currently on the streak right now. They're winning some games. They're feeling pretty good coming into the matchup against the Saints. The Saints are 3-3 at home. And what's really interesting about the whole deal with the Saints in terms of, the defense, the offense, the defense, special teams. I mean, the special teams have been what they've been, but the secondary in particular has really stepped up. Now, we missing our shutdown cornerback, Marshawn Lattimore. We missing Marcus May, our starting safety. But the Saints have stepped up. We see guys like Paulson Adebo. He elevated his play this year. A lot of people were really hard on Paulson Adebo. Look how he's responded to that this year. Give him his credit. You look at guys like Alontae Taylor, who stepped up and is playing real solid football for the Saints right now, covering, and they're testing Alontae, and Alontae Taylor's winning a lot of those tests. How about Isaac Yiadom, who stepped up at the nickelback position. Really had a stellar game, defense plays, made tackles last week for the black and gold. So really proud of those guys. And of course, our rookie out of Minnesota, Jordan Howden. Jordan Howden instead of Marcus May has really had an excellent game last week, like 10 tackles last week for the Saints, man. So Marcus May's out of there. Jordan Howden steps in, and the Saints secondary keeps flowing. Issue is with the Saints defense is up front on that defensive line. That in that new retooled interior defensive line led by Saunders and Shepard. And then our reserves, of course, Brian Bresee, Malcolm Roach is out on the IR, so we have to be able to fortify that interior defensive line because we are getting ran on big time, and that can't happen. We have to somehow we have to stop that. We can't allow Saquon Barkley, who has almost 800 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. You know, Barkley is a vicious running back with his cutback ability, runs with power and speed, and he's available. So he watched what happened with the Saints last week against Carolina. They put up 200 yards rushing on the Saints last damn week. Saquon Barkley is licking his chops looking at the Saints defense. Say if they could put 200 up like that between 3 people, you can imagine what we can do. So in the end, it's going to be interesting, man, the bottom line. Shout out to Brent, man. Thank you, Brent, for the super chat, fam. Appreciate you, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can get that thing open. All right. Good morning. Who that morning to you, my friend? Appreciate you for being here. Thank you for the cash.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
No doubt about it, man. We just have to make sure, you know, we be about the business. Now, listen, I get all of the messages. Family members sending me voice messages. They sending me DMs. They DMing me, and they're saying stuff like, "Man, Q, I just want us to lose because I don't like Dennis Allen, yada yada yada." And I'm like, dude, listen, I get it. I don't too much care about Dennis Allen myself. I really don't. I mean, I'm not mad at Dennis Allen. Y'all always hear me say I'm not mad at Dennis Allen. Well, how could you not be, you know, mad at him? Q, he's a this, that, and the third. And I'm like, man, I know what he is, and I know what he isn't. What he isn't is a head coach. We've known that for some time. That reality is already settled in with me. That's already stuck there. I know he's not a head coach. I know that in the second year, you kind of give people an opportunity to see if they learn something. What did he learn from last year that he's using this year? What did he learn? Well, he was able to switch some people around on his staff, added some guys in there to kind of help out. And then on top of that, did it improve the team's overall play? It made him more comfortable, but did it make him a better coach? I don't see it. You know, last year's team, this rendition of the team with the supposed improvements on top of the team, we didn't have a quarterback. We had freaking Andy Dalton sitting on top of the team last year because he wouldn't play Jameis Winston toward the back end of the year. Derek Carr's here, $150+ million, 4-year contract, supposed to be an improvement on top of the offense, but yet still, we have not seen a consistent Saints thorough attack up until this point. Haven't seen it yet. Not thoroughly and consistent. With a month left of games remaining, and you need every last one of these games. There's no room for error. There's no time to lose. Nothing. You need everything. You need the Giants win. You need the Rams win. You need the Buck win, and you need the Falcons win. You need everything. There's no backing into it. You do that, you will get into the playoffs if you do that. So the month worth of games. The problem is a lot of people don't believe that Dennis Allen could do that. Now, he's had winning streaks here since he's been here. But like I said, can you keep the biggest thing question, or not really a question, but the biggest statement to Dennis Allen is if he wants the job, and I heard the report about hold on, let me see if I could pull that up too. Hold on, give me a second. Let me see if I could pull that up. That thing. DC sent that to me. He's like, man, did you see this? I said, yeah, I seen that garbage. Hold on, let me see if I could pull it up here. Let me see if DC sent it to me. Hold on here. Yeah. All right, hold on here. All right, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up here. Yeah, there it is. All right. So anyway, this was the thing right here. Shout out to John Sigler, man. The tweet that happened from Jeremy Fowler that reported that the Saints don't want to make a change at head coach after the season, but Dennis Allen's poor performance is hard to ignore. They don't want to make a change. And see, this is why this is a game. This is like a a tug of war match of power between the supporters and the team. This is like a tug of war match up here. And I've often talked about it because listen, I give somebody an opportunity, but as any manager, if you have a guy that you have that's underneath you and they working and the guy is not doing it, the unit that you've allowed him to make is underperforming. You're supposed to go in there and reevaluate. Reevaluations is a part of being, not only this guy is a general manager. That means he's supposed to manage all of the managers. So if the team is stinking and they underperforming, they're inconsistent. There are guys getting locked up for speeding. There's wide receivers going to jail. This type of stuff. There's disgruntlement last year with your starting quarterback. The general manager his skill is to start to get general managing. But he doesn't seem to manage anything correctly. When we look at the fact that they gave the guy a game ball for 200 wins, most of that was Sean Payton's wins. You benefited by it. Now, you might have made the decision ultimately, which really it was Tom Benson. It was between two people. Benson wanted the other guy, Kubiak. And the reason why we didn't get Kubiak is because Kubiak was using the Texans as leverage for the Saints money deal. And Tom Benson said, no, he just went with the cheaper of the two options, regardless or not. It worked out. That's the history of it. It's not, I don't romanticize it. But in the end, it worked out for the Saints because we had unbridled success under Sean Payton. And Mickey Loomis was one of the people, and Pete Carmichael and others were people that directly benefited big time by this arrangement. He got 200 something I would. Now listen, Mickey has some stuff that he did good. His biggest thing was finagling the books, making the deals work where he can be able to have the take cash strap stuff and just totally manipulate the cap in ways that nobody ever did before. Problem is, which is not really a problem, that skill was taught to both Fontenot and the other guy, which is Harley. Harley's here. He's a younger version. Mickey's been here for 20 years. And he needs to get general managing this team and let them know ultimatums need to be placed about right now. The fact that, and I don't know how true this report is, I'm not casting doubt on Fowler, but they don't want to make it. So if the guy, see, the thing is, if this statement's coming out, he's saying this is from inside of the building that they don't want to make a change. That's laziness, man. You're not supposed, well, we don't really want to make a change because you're lazy. Your vision is blurred. You want to keep things successful. We don't keep trash and unproductive people who don't know what they're doing, dumb Saints people. We don't do that. If the guy can't win, he can't do his job correctly, he needs to go. He needs to go and somebody else needs to be placed in there. And that's why I got upset about the whole Flores thing when Flores started suing these people for breaking the Rooney Rule. The Saints were one of them. They should have been in the suit. You don't talk to Eric Bieniemy for 8 hours and then say, by the way, we would you like to take the offensive coordinator job? Or I thought I'm here sitting up here eating all this stuff with y'all. I thought y'all was making me the coach. Oh no, we wanted to see if you was interested in offensive coordinator. No, I'm going back. I'm getting out of here. Brian Flores was another dude they brought in here. Dougie Peterson, but all kind of ways the same. These people are beating the hell out of the Saints when they play them this year. They're making a point to step on Dennis Allen. Dougie P stepped on him when they played with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Flores' defense took the Saints' offense apart when they played them. So, I mean, reevaluation is supposed to happen all of the time. You're a general manager. You're constantly reevaluating things. So you can't look at year one when you hired the guy when he first stepped in the door and still have the same thought process for him as we face in 4 games before the end of the year. And your team is 6-7 tied. Well, we're tied for first place. Both the teams ahead of you own tiebreakers on you. You've lost a team that you're not even supposed to lose to. And really, you're beating yourself because most of these teams, this stuff is the Saints beat themselves in the Atlanta game. They beat themselves in the Tampa game. They beat themselves in the Green Bay game. They beat themselves in the Minnesota Vikings game. That's what they do. They beat themselves because the coach is not a disciplinarian, attention to detailed person that'll be able to keep the team focused game by game. And not only that, but also have them dialed into to the point where they are making it happen. An undisciplined team will not have a long playoff run. They won't. It takes discipline to go on these runs, to go on winning 5 games in a row, 4 games in a row. It takes discipline to do that. They have to have attention to detail, and there has to be a certain measurement of fear in the building for the coach, either respect or fear, however you want to phrase it. But you got to understand, Dennis Allen will pull me out of here if I throw a pick 6. If I fumble the ball, I will get benched for several plays. If I miss tackles and pull face masks, I will be off the field for several plays. None of that happened. You can false start and still play. You can pull face masks and still play. You can drop balls and still play. You can throw pick 6s and still play. You can only stare down half the field while other guys are running open on the other side of the field and still play. That's what I'm talking about. And it's hard for them to get away from that because the film backs up every damn thing I say. So at some point, we got to figure out what we really serious about. And I'm talking about the Saints, because the Who Dat Nation's on par. And then you got people that inside of the said building who will come out and call the reporters unsophisticated and lazy for telling the truth about the team, because they're talking to the players inside of the team about what's going on in the team. Well, that's just lazy, unsophisticated journalism. I just want to say, oh, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. Hey, let me tell you something. You know, I don't get it. What are you guys doing? Hold on. No, Mickey, then that's not lazy. You're lazy and unsophisticated. You're projecting. You're not doing the job you're supposed to be doing on the guy that you picked. You're supposed to be over his shoulder if the team is 6 and 7 and losing to teams it's not supposed to be. You don't supposed to be sitting up here making excuses for anybody. That's not how this goes. Or anyway, Arain says someone described you like a crazy driver who's taking you home, and you're only a block away. You're almost there, so you ain't gonna jump out the car. But would you ever take another ride? No. I mean, he wasn't. Listen, fam, I'm not trying to say what them. Listen, based on some of the people that they interviewed, Dennis Allen, the only thing about Dennis Allen, how he got the job, nobody interviewed Dennis Allen for no head coaching position. He was only a candidate for the Saints because of Sean Payton. And we said this, it's the same garbage. And Mickey Loomis has a dumb management style outside. I'm telling y'all, man, Mickey benefited largely from what Sean Payton said, give me this player, do this for me. And Mickey said, sure, I'll do it. And then that's how he finagled the books, and that's what he do. But in terms of look how he's doing it now. He didn't have to do that with Sean Payton. He just left him alone, went and played golf, Eddie's clam chowder, or whatever the hell he did. But when you got a guy, you have to keep your mitts on and be able to be over his shoulder. He can't do that. He not in it. So he would rather turn to you and call the reporters unsophisticated and lazy and talk about booing. Well, listen, guys, booing doesn't help us. Well, I just kind of let me tell you that booing doesn't help us. It doesn't. Well, let me say this, Mickey. We was cheering you before we started booing you. Did that help you win games? Well, no, I'm not at you phrase it like that. No, it didn't. So shut the hell up with that, man. The boo it doesn't help. We'll boo you 8 ways from Tuesday if you stink this thing up, man. We're not going to lay up off of that. I just don't like it. Well, I don't like losing. I don't like a quarterback that stares down half the field. I don't like coaches that don't tell the quarterback not to stare down the field and to go through his progressions. I don't like a coach who won't tell the quarterback that he's paying $150+ million to not to stare down one side of the field and to go through his progressions. And if you keep doing it, I'm going to bench you. I don't care how much you cost. That's accountability. That is accountability. Despite how much I paid you, you're going to do this and you're not going to hurt the team. That's accountability. And that's managing something, man. That's how you do it. But this is not what we have here. Thank you, Rain. Appreciate that.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. We up in this thing. But yeah, this is foolhardy. They don't want to make the change. Listen, ultimatum is get us in the playoffs or get fired. That's what this is. 4 games remaining, 2 of them really quick within the next 5 days. You got a 5-day window, and injuries are a factor, and you got to turn this stuff around quickly. You got a Detroit team that's on a winning streak. You got a scrappy Ram team on Thursday. So by Thursday after the game, we'll know kind of where we are here to a degree. So in the end, it's no more. I don't want to hear no more excuses from these people, man. It's either win or go home. And I'm talking about Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis too. Lose the VP. You can keep the VP job, but the general manager job needs to go to somebody else, bro, because you're not generally managing anything, bro. You're doing more propaganda spinning than you're doing truth telling, especially when you got Paige Shields who that interview you and they throw softball questions and even answer the questions for you and then tell you, well, you don't have to answer that question. I already answered it. It's just crazy that people would think that way. People are not crazy for thinking that way because football is a game that's caught from many different angles of the field. There's cameras all the way around this. You're catching all kind of angles of the field. You can see who making mistakes out there. It's a very visible game. You can see who missing blocks. You can see who's confused. You can see everything. You put that all 22 on, you can see everything. You can see him staring down people. You can see him only looking at half the field. You can see all that. And if I can see that and I don't work for you folks, how could the assistant coaches that's supposed to be trainers or whatever you want to call them, that's advising cars, not advising them like I'm saying? And they obviously are not, because he keep doing the same thing every game. If you would stop doing that, you would see the offense flowing. I mean, there are throws there, but he never sees them. And when he does span the field, then you see him make the throws, but he doesn't span the field enough. He limits himself by himself. He's doing it to himself. And that's what people get frustrated about. It's McCoy and all these other people get frustrated. Dude, I'm over here I'm running full speed. You ain't see me? Oh, I gotta listen, man. Here, take this, listen, here go a Rolex for you, man. Well, listen, bro, I appreciate, thank you for the Rolex, but I don't listen, man. Listen, I'm just trying to listen. I'm just trying to let you know, man. Listen, I had this guy, I was one-on-one. I even threw my hand up, man. I was trying to, I know. I was looking over here and I was like, no, bro, come on. We need to do better. Shout out to you, Dave. Good to see you, man. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. All right. So anyway, let's get to this, man. Let's hear from these people, man. Let's keep it pushing on Friday, on this Saturday morning. I just want to see this team. Really, fam, I just want to see this team do better, man. I know a lot of people don't like Dennis Allen because they know he's not the right choice for the head coaching position, and he really isn't. He's not the right guy for the job. But it'll be difficult for him or for a guy like a Mickey Loomis to see. We won't. It's if you don't get him, if you don't get and I'm gonna just say it like this: if you don't get to the playoffs, there is no room for you coming back here. There is absolutely no way that you can then say that we expect that, we want to see what Dennis Allen looks like in the second year. They're going to try it. But at the end of the day, guess what? It won't work. But like I said, it'll be interesting. I want to see him try it, to be honest with you. I would love to see that. Like if them saying, well, listen, we know we missed the playoffs, and listen, we're going to bring Dennis Allen back. We think, come on with it. I'm going to love every second of that, because that is a direct violation. Them people are not blind and they're not deaf. They hear you and your displeasure about them. They put the damn interviews on YouTube. They can read the comments. They know, and in the social media department say, hey, man, these people are not very happy. Well, let's just ignore them and then, only pay attention to the happy people. It ain't got too many happy people. Let me tell you something. And most of the people are all forming the boycott line. They're not going to get it. Their people are a lot smarter with their money than from days past, man. No disrespect to our old people, our old school cats, but y'all know it's the truth. People getting more on code with this stuff. They're not going to put their money, as tough as money is nowadays, behind a bad product. And then these sitting up here talking about we going to ride with this guy. Man, we're not going there with you. You're wasting time and resources, bro. You're wasting time and resources by doing this. But anyway, here's Dennis Allen. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all get this dude, man.
Yeah, so designated for return. Got him out to go through some things today. He won't play this week, but it's time to kind of get him going through some football activities. So we opened up the window today.
Is that one of the things where he could shoot him later, or do you kind of have to see it?
Say it again.
Do you think his return could be sooner or later, or do you have to see it for a little bit?
Well, look, I mean, I think today was the first day out. Really working defensive drills. So we'll just kind of see how the process goes. I do think he's closer to being ready to go. Now, exactly when that is, I can't tell you that.
Do you have Chris Olave's designation yet?
He's going to be questionable,
He's gonna be questionable.
and it's probably going to go right up till game time.
When did he get hurt?
On the touchdown. Got his ankle, got landed on his ankle. And he's been doing a good job in his rehab. I haven't got a report in terms of exactly how he did today yet. But he'll be a guy that, if he can go, he wants to go. If he can go, then we'll go all the way up till game time and make a decision.
And does that mean it's not a high ankle sprain?
It's not a high ankle sprain. No.
Will he be on? If he does go, will he be on a similar pitching out like?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, we kind of got to see where he's at, so just wait and see.
Yeah, how did the responsibilities split up for Derek and Eric, like just as far as like setting the protection, just pointing out the mic, like who kind of does what?
Yeah, well, look, they're both responsible for it. Typically it's going to start with the center, and then Derek has the ability to override it in terms of where the protection's going. So that's kind of typically how that operates.
Are you all different in that way, BA, or most teams?
I think kind of depends, really. I mean, I've seen it where quarterback handles it all. I've seen it where the center handles it all. But I would say probably more often than not, the center handles the initial, declaration, and then the quarterback has the ability to override it. Yeah.
Dennis, why do you feel like when looking at tape, the Giants' defensive line has been so effective at getting to the quarterback?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, particularly Thibodeau does a really good job coming off the edge. So I think they got some athletes that are coming off the edge. I think they got some interior pressure and interior push. And then I think they give some unique looks that cause stress on the protection. And so I think all those elements are part of it.
The season that Paulson's having, how much do you think that competition in training camp kind of helped him set up?
Well, look, I think anytime you have competition at the positions, it brings out the best in everybody, So, but I would also say, I thought he had a really good rookie year. Fought through some injuries last year, so it was a little bit down. I think he's back to playing the way that he's capable of playing.
A couple guys have called him kind of a different cat, to use their words. Have you noticed the same thing, or is that?
He's from Stanford. I mean, they're all a little bit different. No offense, but yeah. Look, I mean, he's highly intelligent, and he's got a thought process with everything he does.
You guys have faced multiple dual threat quarterbacks at this point. What makes Tommy DeVito different from some of the other quarterbacks you faced?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think he's got some instincts in terms of being a runner. And I thought you saw it last week against Green Bay, where when he didn't have what he wanted initially, he was quick to tuck it and run. And so that'll be something that we'll have to be aware of and try to do a good job at not letting him scramble out.
Pairing him with Saquon Barkley, where did they stack up as maybe almost Russell? So back to considering Saquon's good and both the front and pass.
Yeah, well, I think Saquon's one of the better backs in our league. He does a really good job, both in his ability to run the football, his stop and start ability. I think is pretty unique. He's got a lot of power, good contact balance. Does a really good job in the passing game. Again, his ability to stop and start makes it hard for guys to have to cover him. So yeah, it's a challenge.
All right. Yeah. And that's the thing too, family. That's the thing we talk about the Giants matchup and I'm not looking past the Giants. The Giants are playing scrappy football right now. Reality is this. The Giants hit us where we are the weakest in terms of our defense. Saints have shown over a period of time, especially this entire season, their inability to stop guys from running, especially toward the back end when we've been gashed for like big, ridiculous rushing performances, like 200 yards, 190 yards. It's just ugly numbers that we usually traditionally we didn't do that even up until the slippage started occurring. This year, we were actually pretty solid against the run. Not anymore. At first, it was the scrambling quarterback effect plus the running backs getting going. It was a collage of cobbled numbers together that reached 150, 160, 170, 180 yards. Now all of a sudden, when that went away, and then they just started hit the north-south power runners started really hitting the Saints for big yardage. And we seen it in the Carolina game when you seen guys like Hubbard, you seen Blackshire, you seen those guys get going and scramble. Even Bryce scrambled around for I think like 50 yards to go along with it. So I mean that is something that has to change, man. To be honest with you, we can't allow that to keep going on like that, family. We can't, if we're going to have success against this team, that can't happen. Plus the fact that you have DeVito, who does scramble. He will move around and run on you. That's another problem. So you have the north-south power runner game that the Saints have really slipped on over the last several weeks, plus the fact that they have a semi or a guy that can move around and scramble on you. Oh, that's a problem. See, Carolina last week could not take advantage of that. The fact, I was like, if they shifted and adjusted and started having this guy move out and throw the ball, and they tried it at first, but Bryce was kind of missing on the guys. And well, actually, he started hitting them. They were dropping them. They were dropping the passes. So when he finally started throwing the ball, they wouldn't catching it. But outside of that, the thing is, that's the secret to them looking at, say, man, we can run on this team. We got a guy that scrambles around. The Saints don't have the ability to stop a scrambling quarterback. And this year was ugly. Last year, it wasn't as bad. The year prior, the guys are moving around on you. But this year, it's like a clown show. Guys sliding around. Every quarterback, it's like they were dipped in bacon grease. It was like, you know what I'm saying? He slip out of your arms, that type of thing. And that's what it appeared like, because you'll see Carl Granderson get back there, grab him, and he'll just slip out of his grasp. Cam George slip. I just like, damn. I mean, what is it? What, all these guys are dipped in grease or something? What's going on? You can't tackle a guy, but that's how it was. So if that kind of move continues into this game, it could be problematic for the Saints. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That is a major issue that the Saints have not been able to stop as of recent. So I mean, that has to change. But anyway, let's this is Cam the man, one of the defensive leaders, if not the defensive leader on the team. Let's see what Cam had to say about this.
How is the healing going?
We're healing. It's all about an upward trajectory, you know. Atlanta Falcons, I didn't get to see the end of the game, and I've been rapidly healing or slowly healing. However you depend on it. In my mind, I should go to sleep and wake up perfect, but that hasn't been happening. But we have been getting better, you know. And because I've been healing, I haven't been avoiding you. I've just been healing. I mean, you're always healing from something. You know, some things are more severe than others. It's a football season. You're never going to be out 100% healthy. And I think, you know, with our locker room, we have a next man up mentality. Ooh, almost messed that one up. Could have been real laggy. But, you know, at some point, I think that we got guys like Zach Bond. I think as weeks go on, I'm pretty sure like where Peyton is, he's biting at the bit. Just saw him at practice today. We're slowly getting healthy at the right time for other guys. So I think with my role as it is, I'm perfectly fine with contributing how we can to get a win.
And Kim, I think on the mic'd up segment, they showed you working with Zach on technique. How have you kind of embraced that role?
Yeah, it's not a role that I have to embrace. It's what I've always done and always been. You know, I want to see my teammates succeed at a high level. And if I'm focused on the run, then that means somebody can be focused on the pass. At the end of the day, it's about a team win. I could care less anymore about, you know, a personal accolade, and I never really have during season. I'm worried about trying to get as many wins as we can. We got 4 games left. If we can win all 4 of these, we can hit double-digit wins. If not, then, you know, we won't have our fate in our hands. I don't love where we're at right now, but I do love the chance that we have, the opportunities that we are presented.
Exactly. And straight shooter Cam, straight shooter Alvin Kamara, telling it like it is. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got to win out. We need every last one of these games to have a chance, because the destiny is not in our hands because we lost to Tampa Bay and Atlanta. We have to win. So there's the reality that everybody knows that's in front of the Saints is, you know what you got to do, right? You got to win all of these games. You win these games, you're in the playoffs. You save your coach. A lot of them like Dennis Allen, some don't. But if you really want them to be here, you're going to have to win these games. And then if we do that, we don't have to worry about hoping that an Atlanta or whatever falls on their face. We handle our business. We take care of business. We good. That's what it comes down to. So the team know what's in front of. I would hope that they know what's in front of them. I mean, we heard Cam say that, but sometimes the messages are different in the buildings. It's a lot of miscommunication, not a steady like one thought process, one mindset there. And that was evident, like in some receipts for that was like the time when Elvin Kamara said they had no identity. Then what's his face? Pete Carmichael said we do have an identity. Well, damn. The offensive coordinator and the star player on the team, it's a communication breakdown. We don't have an idea. Oh, yeah, we do. But once you go tell that man that, it's like, you see what I'm saying? That's to me, that's kind of back ass. But anyway, it is what it is. All right, shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to my people watching on Instagram. I see you, Kai Jackson. What's happening? Shout out to you. Good to see you. QTia, much love to you. Yes. What's up, T Mama? How you doing, baby? She said, you coming with the black coffee, no sugar this morning. Yes. Hey, I'm just, listen, family, it's like it's everybody is like, I hear from everybody. And I'm like, listen, fam, no nonsense. Because if you want to hear a sugary, fluffy take on this, I'm not that dude. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of rough like that. I got moments when I can be gentle. I'm a balance. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, this is what's called for right now. It's serious time. It's no more fluffy thoughts about clouds and, oh, yeah, it's Nickelodeon. Everything's perfect. Everything's fine. No, it's not time for that. I'm usually a balanced approach, but this is what's called for. It's time to be serious here because we're looking at the destiny of the team before us. Right now, these next 4 weeks that will decide whether or not Dennis Allen should stay or go, which we already feel. We know what we feel. You know how you feel. But if they and the Saints don't really want to get rid of Dennis Allen, that's obvious. We just showed the tweet. But to keep him, this is the time we know whether or not what we're dealing with here. A lot of money was spent on this team, especially offensively. So I don't want to hear, you guys just, all the fans need to come out and support the team. We've been supporting you. We've been supporting you, and you stink. You've been letting us down the whole time. And then the cold-blooded part about it is what I really despise is that the lying and the inability to keep it real, the propaganda, the spinning of it. Like, listen, we don't want to hear no excuses. We put our money where our mouth is. We put our time there. We were at the games showing. We did all of that. You can't ask us to do no more. It's your turn now. That's what I'm saying. So you hear all these people come out and say, you go down to the games, buy those $20 nachos. Make sure you get that $5, $8 bottle of Coke or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, go down there and get that $10 bottle of beer and come on down and enjoy yourself. Pay $25 for parking. Yeah, come on down, empty your pockets. And then leave frustrated. People tired of that. I'm not doing it. So, it's your turn, Saints. It's your turn. You want people to show up and show out? You show up and show out. Isn't that fair? Isn't that really fair? That's how it is. That's how the universe operates. You put into it what you get out. You get out of it what you put into it. That's balance. That's perfection. That's excellence. You know what I'm saying? You get out what you put into it. You can't ask it for more than that. So don't ask me for nothing. It's your turn. We showed up, showed out, and was cheering for you before the boos came. Oh, the booing don't hurt. Well, listen, Q, I tell you something. And those boos, I don't like them. I understand. I just don't like it. Well, listen, Mickey, I know you don't like it, and I don't care if you don't like it. The boos are from you. The boos are from your team. The boos are for your head coach. The boos is for the underperforming that you are doing on the field. That's why we're booing. We're not just booing at touchdowns. Nobody boos at touchdowns. They boo because you stink and that you're not executing properly and you're making excuses. That's why we're booing. And you're not doing enough to rectify the wrongs that you created. That's why we boo. Well, see, I get that part. I understand. I just don't like it. Well, listen, all I can tell you is how it is. If you don't want to hear boos, win. If you don't want to hear boos, play with intensity. Play with intelligence. But give an all-out full effort. is what we're asking. Even if you don't win, as long as you empty out and give a full effort and show the people that you're trying to, and it just didn't happen because the other team wanted it more, we would understand that. But it is no explanation for what we seeing on the field. For people who don't want to instruct a $150 million quarterback to stop staring down the one side of the field or the other and propel or promote him to be a person that throws the ball and looking over his entire field, doing a better job of recognizing when the blitz is coming so you can audible out of it and take advantage of the aggression that your adversary, the defense, is coming with. Being able to see that and do something about it, that's not too much to ask for, because we've seen that before from great Hall of Fame quarterbacks that stood here in those same shoes, that stood in the same position behind that center, and who played the game at a high level. That is what we know. We know what a good quarterback looks like, and we know what a bad one or a half-ass one looks like too. And let me tell you, it's like night and day. All right, that boy alone says Michael Thomas or Laddie Daddy come back this season. Well, Laddie Daddy, I think Laddie Daddy's still under contract, bro. So Laddie Daddy's not going nowhere, brother alone. He's not going nowhere. We still got Laddie Daddy under contract, because remember, him and Ramczyk signed their deals. They signed their deals. I think who signed first? Ram signed first, and then Laddie Daddy signed after him. So those guys are still under contract. Now, Mike's, they reworked Mike's deal for a 1-year deal. That's a question. That it depends on a lot of factors. Now, Michael Thomas does like a lot of these guys, the Chris Olaves, the Rashid Shaheeds, but would they be somebody out there who would offer Mike more money than what the Saints offer him, and would it be attractive? And then again, will Dennis Allen still be here? A lot of factors play into it, and really, Michael Thomas has always been a pro Dennis Allen guy. Dennis Allen's been pro Michael Thomas. Even when he took over the job a couple of years ago, his first move was to go to California or reach out to Michael Thomas and tell him, hey, man, we want you to be a part of the team. And even going as far as drafting Chris Olave, who Michael Thomas wanted to be here. So Dennis Allen has always been a guy reaching to Michael Thomas. It depends on a lot of factors. Now, that one is difficult for me to call on that one, bro. I might need a little bit more time, but thank you, bro. Appreciate the super chat.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right, shout out to you. Thank you, Alone, bro. Shout out to Brent, man. Shout out to Brent. He says, yeah, look, mean, come on, man. Yeah, he says that a lot. I think that's like how Mickey Loomis does. When you're a public speaker, it's word filler. It's like you given the game in parts, and then or well, look, that's his way of kind of gathering his thoughts. Like Mickey will just kind of like he'll kind of do this thing where like that. He'll kind of and that's a way of gathering thought, like getting his thought together. And I think that's what Dennis Allen does. He says a lot of and all in between when he's speaking is really annoying, but that's just how he does. I guess he's kind of he's putting his thoughts together that way. But yeah, thank you for that, bro. And he says 8-hour chowder, Big Q. Yeah, 8-hour chowder. Yeah, we got this thing about Mickey Loomis eating clam chowder. He loves clam chowder. That's the thing that I kind of got going. He says, yeah, clam chowder, but I don't like it. That's the thing. That's Mickey getting upset, by the way. See, we don't, Mickey say, oh, listen, I hear you guys. I really hear you guys. I hear your frustration. Hey. I'm frustrated. I get it. But listen, I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, well, make it too damn bad, man. Do something about it, man. Fire somebody. Shake something up. All right. And shout out to you, Brent. Thank you for that, man. He says, give the child to the queue. I don't want it, brother. He can keep it.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
I don't like it. You guys, I'm telling you, I don't like it. All right, King Morrison, shout out to you. He says, win out or lose out, Saints not going to fire EA, which is sad. Okay, King Morrison says he not. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
I wanna say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Indeed, man. Shout out to my boy Teal, man. What's popping, brother? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Hope everything going on well with your fam. Appreciate you. And it is what it is. All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. And thank you for the cash apps and the super chats, man. Listen, fam, let's get back to Cam, man, and then we're gonna roll into Pete Carmichael's a portion of his interview. Then we'll get right into the preview of the Saints and Giants.
What has been your impression of Dak stepping into that role?
I mean, he's quick off the ball. We already knew that. He came in, I think that like first series 2 games ago, got a sack off rip, and then we're working it. He's been in great position sometimes, and that's what you're working on, that finish.
What do you think about DeVito and the darling of the NFL lately?
What have I ever cared about another quarterback? It's about the defense that we have in our locker room. It's about how we can affect the game. I think if we play our technique, that it'll take care of itself. When we are all have gap integrity, when we all are executing our plays at a high level, that should take care of itself. But I do think Tommy DeVito I think the word has been thrown around there, moxie, a lot of moxie. And for that, great. It's going to be a challenge for our defense to make sure he doesn't escape the pocket, as we all know has been a crux for our defense, or our defensive line sometimes. And I'm gonna keep on saying defensive line because it's up to us to, make sure the quarterback doesn't step up, step through, step around, and get out the pocket, because our DBs have done a good job of doing their job. So it's just about everybody doing their own.
Do you have any more thoughts about what happened Monday? Just I know you tweeted about it, but
Man, the most unfortunate event for that is that some of these kids were affected. Nobody was hurt physically, nobody whatever, but there was a couple of kids that were shaken up, and you're throwing an event where the youngest kid there is probably 11, 12. I think there's some GED graduates there that might have been a little bit older, maybe 19, 20. But you could see, not only just fear on the face, but actual sort of trauma, if you will. Some of the kids have been affected by gun violence before, whether that been siblings, whatever it was, and that hurts your heart just to know that that one of these kids may have said some things was like, man, I wish I had mine. And I was like, you shouldn't have to feel that you need anything on you. And it's not like it's not like the event was late. It was the event went on from 5 to 6:30, so somewhere around that 5:45 range in the middle of. Heart hurts for a kid to feel like he needs to be strapped up, or he needs to feel like he has to protect himself in a world where, man, at 13, 14 years old, you should be worried about basketball. You should be worried about homework. You should be worried about getting A's, and not worried about the outside world affecting your inside world.
All right, that's Cam, man. Cam always gives the game, man. He's talking about the event that Cam threw, and the event was disturbed by shots that were, gunshots around there, and then it kind of frazzled the children and whatnot. Yeah, this is the reality in the city of New Orleans, man. It's just unfortunate, but it's a lot of stuff like that that's going on in the area, and perhaps if you live in a big city, around big cities, period, whether it's New Orleans or Dallas or Houston or New York or Los Angeles, Miami or Atlanta, wherever, Memphis, wherever you go, this is a common thread that in certain areas, in certain places, it happens, and that's a whole different type of show that, that needs to be had, that I can speak to, but, this is obviously not the platform. So, but yeah, it's a daunting reality that's going on today. And it's, it's going to carry on to certain things are addressed. So, and taken care of. So anyway, shout out to the fam of Rich. What's up, Rich? He says, how's the running game for the Saints, bro? Dude, it's a good question, bro, because Jamal Williams is dealing with an issue. We know that Kendre Miller was there. He has this ankle issue that's just been messing with him this entire year. He was dealing with that in the preseason, during the season. He shut down now with it. So if I was them, I would just kind of let Kendre get all through that thing before I even worry about, because his future's bright. So the Saints did bring in a veteran running back, James Robinson. They brought him in here to help out whether they activate them, probably sometimes today we'll get the indication, or perhaps early tomorrow morning before 10:30, we'll get a list of inactives and actives and elevations from where they are to now. So perhaps Robinson's involved. We know Jamal Williams is dealing with an issue as well. He's on the injury list as well. So yeah, we get Taysom back. So it's, man, the running game is, in one word, with me, disappointing. It's because the season started and a lot of people had faith in the running back and the running game. And I was saying, fam, we have 3 run. I am sorely disappointed, not in Jamal Williams, but the Saints' inability to get Kamara and Jamal Williams going. We know Jamal had his issues injury-wise, but there were games where Jamal Williams was ready to roll and we just didn't capitalize off of it. And listen, it's just disappointing. Jamal Williams last year with Detroit had, 18 touchdowns rushing? You know? And look how we are using him in this system. You know? And I asked the family members, how do you feel about Elvin Kamara, how the Saints are using him? Not him, because Kamara gives, like, he was running really tough last game. You can see he had it on his mind. He's been playing some really good football for the Saints. But it's how they're using our running backs is so disappointing. Like, we know Kendre Miller is dealing with his issue, but they had other guys that we can get involved. And I always felt like we should have had a 3-headed running back room to kind of take pressure off. And the reason I wanted 3 is because at times we should be using Elvin Kamara as a wide receiver. Like right now, Chris Olave has an ankle issue, not full-time, mind you. But you got, you know what I'm saying? If we use our imaginations, we should be using Elvin Kamara as a wide receiver. Like, we have him on the field split. And there's some plays where we've seen them do it. It's just they don't do it enough and they don't do it effectively enough. Well, you see Elvin Kamara and Jamal Williams out there at the same time. If we got a 3-headed running back attack, we can afford to kind of set that old thing up where we could be able to decoy Elvin and then go somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? Because, you know, Chris Olave's out. Rashid Shaheed's coming off an injury, you know, and then we digging into our bench right now with A.T. Perry, Keith Kirkwood, Lynn Bowden Jr., and if they activate Marquez Callaway or Shaq Davis, you know, so I mean, depending on where they go, but the reality is we still could use Elvin in that way. We can use him like that and still be able to run the ball. If we have to spread out the defenses and let them decoy him here or there, we can still utilize that to some great success, even if, you know, we use Taysom Hill as a running back at times, because that's all he is. You could have Carr in there to hand the ball off to Taysom and have an Elvin Kamara out there in the 3 wide receiver set. He's spread to the left there. They decoying him, and you got to worry about Elvin and Taysom on the field at the same time. Come on, man. Come on, man. So like I said, I'm disappointed in the usage of our running backs and how we've not been able to get them going. And a lot of that is because of the offensive line. The offensive line is terribly inconsistent. I mean, ugly and woefully inconsistent this year. Some games they bring it. Sometimes they bring in half the game. I mean, it's just maddening. And it's like, okay, we got to be patient if they're on the young offensive line that's trying to put it together. But these are a bunch of old veteran guys. There is no excuse for what we saying what's going on with the Saints offensive line. There's no excuse for that. If anything, we should be able to at the very least, run the football. At the very least. Andrews gets beat on a regular. Ramczyk gets beat on a regular. Cesar Ruiz gets beat. He forgets who he's blocking, or when he's pulling the block people, he missing people. McCoy false starting. He doing the Cupid shuffle out there. I mean, James Hurst looks like he needs to be, you know, he putting the Saints offense in his running game into Hurst and driving them to the cemetery. I mean, this needs to change. And I was like, man, this really, whoever leading the team, they really need to take a really good look at this offensive line. It really needs some help. It really needs a lot of help, family. This offensive, very disappointed in the Saints rushing attack because Carr in many places is not ready to carry the team. It's supposed to be the running attack with Elvin Kamara, who's your best player. We're supposed to be getting the ball in his hands. How about using more of the power more? Getting some guys out there that can block and help out. Why is Trevor Penning not even used as a, you know what I'm saying? Penning just got benched. You mean to tell me I ain't gonna even get into it, but I'm just disappointed in the Saints running attack this year. Really, I am. It's just not there. And a lot of that's due to the offensive line. They're just not opening up those big lanes that we like to see, that you were happy to see an Alvin Kamara or Jamal Williams run through. It's just not happening. But anyway, shout out to Elf and the rest of the fam. Hemisphere says, Q, imagine what the Saints can do where the O-line is backed. Let's see, says backed by a better offensive line coach. Yeah, people, we really need to kind of look at that, fam. To be honest with you, we really need to look at that. I'm not gonna lie to you. We need to, because Doug Marone's the guy there. We know Jari Evans just stepped in here, but that offensive line, man, is supposed to be one of the strongest units we have. All of those guys were here last year and multiple years together. It shouldn't look that disjointed. I mean, it shouldn't look that weak and that inconsistent. The offensive line, especially as a running unit, like one of the easiest things that a big offensive lineman can do is run block. If he has to drop back and try to stop a speedy rusher, that's a lot more difficult than him putting his hands on his opponent and driving him out of the way. I mean, but we just can't seem to do it consistently, and that's the problem, man. Yeah, you're right, bro. It starts with coaching, bad offensive line. Yeah, but they don't address the things that are bad. That's the thing that sucks and stinks from me, because it's the same tripe every week, and you can see it on the tape. It's not me and the rest of the Who Dat Nation just in a room having a full-blown hallucination event about the New Orleans Saints. No, it's actually receipts where you put the film on and you can see everything. You can see them being confused on who to block. You can see guys missing blocks. They set up screens, and then there's 3 people in front of Kamara, and then 2 of the people don't block the guy. He gets tackled back there. I'm like, how did that, what's going on here? Simple things that just don't do well as a unit. And that's the thing that's really upsetting, because they keep doing the same dysfunctional things every week, which means that whoever these coaches are, they're not nailing that stuff down. You're supposed to get that out of here, man. Whatever's ailing the team, you're supposed to get it out of there. I'm questioning whether or not they see it, and then they have the ability, the technique to remedy the situation. So I'm just sick of seeing the same, just ineffective, dysfunctional football thinking every game over and over again, popping up at the wrong times of the game. You get me? He says, Q, put on 5. He says, put 5 guys on the sled and tell them to push, push, push. Yeah, what's going on here? Hall of Fame practice. What's up, Derek? How you doing, brother? Yeah, Hall of Fame. Yeah, every damn week we had a great practice, and we've made it's a running gag in the Who Dat Nation. Now listen, I'm not riding down on them. I'm just speaking from a historian standpoint for this season. And after hearing these, because I'm playing them, I play dozens of these interviews from different people. So we know exactly what they're working on, what they're thinking, and we're not guessing at it. We're in the loop listening to what they're saying, and what they're saying and what they're doing, it's a disconnect. It's not the same thing. But you're saying the same thing every week, but doing something different every week, which means if the coach, are saying we need to do this, and then the team is not doing that, that's with the coach. That's coaching, because the Saints have the talent to stop scrambling quarterbacks. They have the talent to stop a guy from running 200 yards on them. They got the ability. That all goes back to coaching. Sir, you're absolutely right. Here's Carmichael. Y'all put one if y'all can hear.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Great.
There you go. And Pete, when you're looking at some of these deep, good. How you doing?
Great.
There you go. And Pete, when you're looking at some of
All right, we having problems with old Pete, man. Pete ain't. Let me see if I can kind of reset this thing here, fam. Give me a second. Let me kind of refresh it here and see what old Pete Carr. We're not gonna play all of it, fam. We're just gonna hear a few minutes of this, and then we'll get right into our preview of the Giants matchup right here. If it continues to kind of stink up, then we'll move right into it.
When you're looking at some of these defenses you're playing, what's kind of your view of a lot of these teams playing the shell coverage, taking away
Come on.
the deep shots? You see more of that?
I think it's a mix. I think.
Fuck is that interview? Where is that? Hold on. Yeah, hold on for a second, fam. Hold on. See if I can find it. For whatever reason, we're having problems playing it on that player. Hold on just a second here. Let's see if I can find that for you. Maybe not. Hold
I would say that you see a lot more now is the variety from a certain defense, meaning that a lot of coordinators pay attention to how many times they're in maybe this coverage, and then you look at the percentages. And, this is 22%, this is 20, this is 18, and then another. A lot of things, but I think the teams do a good job mixing it up, and some of that could also be dependent on your personnel, maybe trying to take away some deeper throws and or the down and distance.
Was that the case last week? And a lot of Derek's targets were like underneath stuff.
Yeah, I think I'll just say that I can be more aggressive as a play caller. So I'll just say that.
A couple of weeks ago, Derek said we should ask you guys about like his report card. Now you guys are grading him out. How have you guys graded him out?
Yeah, I think that when you look at it, listen, everybody's got every game is different. I think that every game you pay attention to. Hey, here's a select group of plays. You watch the whole film together, but there's obviously a good say, hey, here's 10 or 12 clips. I want to make sure we're really looking at. But I think that he's doing what we're asking him to do.
When you say you should be more aggressive, is that necessarily true against that kind of defense? I think back to the Tampa game earlier this year.
Well, I think that there wasn't that many throws downfield. We had the one to Chris, the go route, and then the one that AT called. We had a couple other called that we ended up checking the ball down or didn't get to it. But I think that overall, came out of that game thinking I probably could have given our guys some more opportunities downfield. And, we knew we were playing a good defense, and obviously our defense was playing very well. And so really we didn't want to turn the ball over in that game and give them good field position.
Can Rashid's speed change some of the looks you guys get, or even just the depth?
Yeah, I think teams pay attention. I'm not talking specifically this week, but when you watch any defense, a lot of times if you have a guy that's a threat, either sometimes the corners will play off, or maybe they'll roll the coverage to him and have one underneath and one above. So obviously that can be dependent on player as you're studying film. When you watch a certain team on offense against the defense you're getting ready to play, and you might say, oh, there's a fast receiver, and they're trying to double him, take him away, however they're trying to do it.
You're facing another defense that blitzes a lot, and obviously the last time against Minnesota, you guys didn't get off to a great start. Is there anything you can take from what you learned from that game?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously
that's enough right there for Pete, man. It's the video messing up anyway. But listen, he mentioned one of the sticking points of this interview, and it's only like 4 minutes, was the fact that he did mention that he needs to be more aggressive in his play calling. I agree. You got to let it out right now. It's four games remaining. You need everything. You need it all. It's no time for this conservative nonsense. You got to, whatever you need to do to get the offense to make it more explosive, get it out of there. Let's just go. And he mentioned being more aggressive. People have been saying that the entire year about Pete Carmichael's play calling. But some kind of way, despite some of these worst losses that we had and how funky the offense looks like, he reserved his fair. He did receive his fair share of criticism, and rightfully so. He's in control of that unit. So him and the quarterback has to get on the same page. Ronald Curry is a part of that as well. They got to get on the same page, man. No doubt about it. But it's really strange, man, that we finally seen that. But like I said, there is no more time for any of this. yes, indeed, more aggression is definitely needed, especially with the offense, man. We need to get that going. All right, Brent, thank you, bro. Says you can hear it in his voices, Q, in their voices, Q. They have low expectations. That's the root of willful ignorance and a lack of creative planning. We can't change their expectation. Time for changes. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
I wanna say thank you very much for picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right. Thank you, bro. Appreciate the super chat, sir. Much love. Shout out to y'all guys. Appreciate you. Brother Prime, I see you. Brother JLJ504HD. Shout out to you. Salute, bro. Appreciate you for being in the building. All right. My boy, Big Low. Shout out to my dog Low in this thing as well. Big ups to everybody, man. Appreciate y'all. Please hit the like button. All right. So anyway, let's move on, family. Let's get into the preview matchup between the Giants and the Saints. Of course, the Saints, we know 6-7, 3-3 at home. Giants 5-8, 2-5 on the road. They've won several matchups in a row. DeVito, the young quarterback, is there for them. As you can see, 3 in a row by them. And they've been a scrappy team, man. And they are believing in this young quarterback. And can they really do what a lot of people expecting them to do against the New Orleans Saints, which is upset.
Tommy Cutlets.
Now, a lot of what's going on with the black and gold, man, this should be a win for the Saints, right? It should be. And I'm not going to say it will be, but it should be a win for the Saints. You know, you got an undrafted rookie quarterback that's there that is taking the New York area by storm. He's won 3 games as a starter there. And you can see his numbers right here. 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Regardless or not, the dude is still basically an undrafted rookie running around having some fun. Well, the reality is we got to take care of business against this dude. But the Saints, what's really crucial about this is the fact that the Giants propose a definitely threat to the Saints winning this matchup because this quarterback, DeVito, couldn't move around. That's something the Saints have shown an inability to stop. They've actually got worse toward the back end of the season of stopping and corralling, scrambling quarterbacks, people that can move around and buy time to find wide receivers up the field, to be able to extend plays so they can make things happen down the field. And then, of course, you pair that with the fact that you have a guy like Saquon Barkley that's on the team that is a battling ram of a guy. You have to worry about him as well. So he's available there. They still have some wide receivers that can hurt the Saints. And like I said, secondary wise, I'm not that much concerned. But where my concerns lie is on the Giants' running attack with Barkley and the scrambling ability of DeVito, which are 2 things the Saints right now haven't shown that they can stop, especially as of recent. So that is why I'm saying, okay, this team, offensively speaking, hit the Saints in key weaknesses that they have not shown that they can stop. I don't know. It's crazy to me, but that is the issue. Now, a lot of people think the Giants, are going to lose this game to the Saints. And like I said, the Saints have this game at home. It's the third of 3 home games. It's 3 home games that the Saints have had. The Detroit lost. They beat Carolina, and now they have an opportunity to deal with the Giants. And then Thursday, they have the Rams on Thursday Night Football. So the Saints, they have to be about the business. They have to be about the business and taking care of things. No doubt about it. So anyway, let's look into a little backdrop on the game here, fam. As you talk about Brian Daboll as their coach, 14-15-1 in his second year with this team. Last game, 24-22, win over the Green Bay Packers. The Saints, Dennis Allen, 13-17 as the head coach in his second year. His career mark is 21-45. That's his career mark. Last game, a 28-6 win over the Carolina Panthers. So they give you the series breakdown between the two teams. It shows you a lot what's going on from a historical standpoint. But really and truly, what it comes down to is simple football. The Saints can't turn the ball over. That's what it basically comes down to. No turnover for the black and gold. They cannot afford to turn the ball over. They got to play with some intelligence. They got to also be able to learn to run the football. That's another thing that we talk about that we would hope that the Saints could be able to execute. They have to be able to. It's a lot of stuff, man. And we say this stuff damn near every week about the Saints not being able to turn the football over. Let's look at let's get familiar with some of these people. Let me pull up the depth chart for the Giants right here. so you guys can see it. All right, we know about Tommy DeVito, the undrafted guy, got all them lit up, 3-game winning streak. Barkley's a threat. You also have Burrito. There's another little good running back. They mix them up. Darius Slayton was a guy the Saints had that they were looking at from time to time. He's there. Wandale Robinson's the other wide receiver. Hyatt is the speedster there, and you see other guys involved. So they've got an interesting mix of talent. Tight end is Daniel Bellinger. Right there is Darren Waller is listed on the IR. DeLion Thomas Pugh is questionable. You see the rest of their guys there. And Evan Neal, the right tackle, is listed as doubtful, so that might be an issue. You might see Tyre Phillips get out there and play in the game as well. From a defensive standpoint, we look at them with Ashawn Robinson. He's a former Alabama guy. Lawrence is questionable for the matchup, the big interior defensive tackle. Ward, the right end, is interesting. Ojulari's pretty special, and you see the rest of the people. Kayvon Thibodeau is just special, awesome. From a secondary standpoint, you can see Jackson, Pennick, McKinley, Banks, and Cordell Flott is listed on the injury report as well. I think he is doing all right. I think I want to remember that I've seen him on that injury report. I think he should be good to go in the game. Here's some of the statistics from their team. As you can see, we already showed Danny DeVito. We know Jones is out, so DeVito is in the matchup. In 6 games played with DeVito, this is his career statistics right now. As you can see, the second line right here. He's averaging his completion percentage is just under 66%, 855 total yards. He's averaging 7 yards per throw. When he's back there, his average is 142.5 yards per game doing this thing. 8 touchdowns against 3 interceptions. His rated is 96.5. And of course, we know that he can scramble as well. He's the 3rd best guy on the team in terms of running the ball or scrambling with the ball. He averages 5 yards every time he scrambles. 6 games, 31 scrambles, 154 yards, which is a 5-yard average per scramble, and he even got a touchdown. So they break down his numbers according to those 6 games, and he averages almost 26 yards scrambling per game. He did have a fumble on one of those. He had 2 fumbles in it, but still in all, you got a guy that can throw it and run it. So you have to be mindful of that. And of course, we look at Saquon as the top dude, 783, 3 rushing touchdowns, averages just over 78 yards per game. The top wide receiver is Slayton. He has 34 catches off of 55 targets, averages over 13 yards per catch, 1 touchdown thus far. Waller's on the IR. Wandale is the next dude with 42 catches. Well, actually, he's the leader. Wandale Robinson is actually the leader reception-wise. Has 42 of them things. Averages over 8 yards per catch and 1 touchdown. Then it's Slayton after that. So it's Wandale Robinson, and then it's Darius Slayton. So and then it carries on. Then you see guys like Saquon Barkley, who also catches the ball out the backfield. He has 31 grabs for them as well. So I mean, it's interesting, man, when you look at some of the stuff that we see going on with the team. I don't know what happened right there. Hold on, let me see what happens here. All right, I don't know why I did that, but yeah, we're gonna have to kind of focus on getting this together. To be honest with you, fam, we got to do a better job of protecting, because that's something that these people are going to utilize. And of course, you look at what they got dealing with the tackles. The top tackler for the team, in altogether is Bobby. I hope I pronounce his name right. Okereke. He has 75 tackles right there and doing his thing. Top sacker is Kayvon Thibodeau. The dude has 11.5 sacks on the year. He gets after you. He makes things happen. And he's just a dude that just tears it up. He has 3 forced fumbles on the season. So Kayvon Thibodeau is a wildebeest. 11.5 sacks. You got to watch out where that dude is. They're real opportunistic on how they use Thibodeau. So the Saints have to be aware of where that guy is at all time. Dexter Lawrence is that interior threat. He has 4.5 sacks on the season there. So I mean, there you have it with some of that. So we got to be on the guard and watch out for that guy. They got several players, multiple interceptions for the team, and really, it's nothing really special in terms of the Giants. You know, they got some players here or there that that garner some interest, but in the long scheme of things, fam, to be honest with you, they have some players, but I'm really concerned just about that aspect of the game between the Saints and the Giants. They have to figure out a way to kind of stop DeVito from moving around, and they have to punish and stop the Giants from running the football. That's what it comes down to. Outside of that, for the Saints, as far as the Saints are concerned, it's all in the hands of the Saints quarterback, Derek Carr. Perhaps if we can get them to learn how to run the ball, Alvin Kamara, at this point with a month worth of games remaining, has 564 rushing yards. I mean, let me ask y'all in the chat. Do y'all think Alvin Kamara gets 1,000 yards before the end of the season, fam? Y'all put in the chat. Let me know what y'all feel about, how y'all feel about that. Do you think Alvin Kamara gets 1,000 yards in 4 games? He got 564 right now. I thought he would have a lot more than that, but they're just showing you how they underutilizing them. Derek Carr currently through 13 games for the black and gold. He's 279 from 420, which is 66.4%. Just under 2,900 yards throwing on the season, 13 touchdowns against 7 interceptions. He's been sacked 25 times and a rating of 89.4. Kamara, as you can see, his statistics, 10 games, 45 carries, 564. He has 5 rushing touchdowns there. And, of course, behind him is Taysom Hill with 346. Jamal Williams has 190. In 9 games, 190 for Jamal Williams. And Jamal Williams doesn't even have a rushing touchdown. That, to me, is crazy. He had 18 of them with Detroit. We know that was in the starting capacity, but even in a complimentary role with the Saints, he has 0 rushing touchdowns. He missed some games, but he's been available for quite a few games. But not having a rushing touchdown, that's really interesting. To go from 18 to none. Wow. Chris Olave is the top target for the Saints. 72 catches for him for 918, just shy of 1,000 yards, averaging 13 yards per catch, 4 touchdowns for Chris Olave. Questionable for this game with the ankle issue. It's going to be a game time decision. That's what Allen said. Rashid Shaheed will be available. 33 catches for him. He averages over 16 yards per catch, 3 touchdowns for Rashid Shaheed. Michael Thomas is obviously out of there. And Alvin Kamara is the guy. He has 63 catches. So he's like the second guy underneath him. So 63 catches for Alvin in the matchup. So it's just such a weapon. 402 yards there. And he has 1 receiving touchdown. That is unbelievable to me that Alvin Kamara has 1 receiving touchdown. 1 receiving touchdown. But then again, you think about, you got Alvin Kamara for the majority of these games. And, he missed the suspension early on, but he has 1. So Jamal Williams has 0 rushing touchdowns after having 18 last year. And Alvin has 1 receiving touchdown. That's crazy to me, despite the fact that, you know who Alvin Kamara is. To the Saints defense, Demario Davis is there. 92 total tackles for Demario Davis. There, you can see the solo targets there. But Pete Werner is underneath him with 69. That's interesting. Demario Davis is second on the team with sacks with 5.5. We know Granderson's been playing knockdown, drag-out football. 62 total tackles. He has 6.5 sacks on the season. Where is Cam Jordan in the mixture? Cam Jordan, man, he ain't racking up the sacks, man. Cam has 38 total tackles and 2 sacks this year with a month worth of games left. How many sacks does Cam get? And he's messing around. He got an ankle issue. So anyway, the reality, family, that we have to look at when we're dealing with the matchup between the Saints and the Giants is, from a Saint perspective, the Saints, no turnovers. Being disciplined in the dome, controlling the pre-snap penalties, the things that you can control, the pre-snap penalties, the false starting, guys being confused on what they need to do. We need to eliminate that or keep that down as much as we can. We got to be able to execute and, come out, set the tone of the game with the first opening possessions, come out and march the field, get a score, kind of, shock the Giants, so to speak. We have to be able to execute and being able to run the ball. That's a part of it. Now, like I said, it sounds good because a lot of the Saints offensive linemen are still there, but it's just they have not been able to put it together over the season effectively enough. And it's the thing that you look at with the Saints. Consistency is a big problem with this team, and that's because they're undisciplined. Consistency is a byproduct of discipline. If you're disciplined enough, then you will be consistent. You will be thorough. Because the discipline would drive you to be, to pay attention to detail. And the devil's in the details, right? We know that the errors are in the details. You clean up these things, stop doing these things, and you will have success. So that's the problem with the Saints. I'm like, what's wrong with the Saints? They're not a disciplined team. They play here sometimes and none on this other side. Sometimes the defense shows up, the offense doesn't show up. Special teams kicking, doing their thing, and it's just they don't put it together. And it's really strange. Like if you're a veteran-led team, this team is not a young team per se. It's led by guys that are veterans. You got a quarterback that's been in the league for a decade, been in there for 10 years. He's supposed to have seen everything, should be able to make the throws, knows what he's doing if he's making $100+ million a year. We got a offensive line that's been playing together for the last several years. So it's no reason why they that funky, why they should be that disjointed. The communication should be there. It's not a line we just put together 2 years ago. Those guys have been playing together for years now in the same system. There should be no reason for all of this confusion. A guy's not doing what they're supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? There's no reason for this. So that's the problem with the Saints. Like a lot of people have doubt with the Saints because the Saints ain't showing no consistency. You're not showing attention to detail, and teams that don't show discipline and attention to detail, they're not going that far, man, because you're going to usually meet a team that does do that. You're going to meet a team that's on an off-code team can't beat an on-code team no time. Nothing. It's 100 to it's 100 to nothing, undefeated. It's not going to work. If you got an off-code team versus a code team, a team that's codified, they know what they're doing, they're going to beat them every time. And that's the problem. The Saints are not on code all the time, and that's an issue. And they're not consistent at what they do. And that's the maddening and frustrating thing about this, because usually the devil's in the details, and that's usually is coaching. So if you got a flawed coaching technique where you're not disciplined, you're not making them do what they're supposed to do, and if they screw up or this, explain it, and if they keep doing it, penalize them by taking them in and out, take them out the game, make them lose reps. If you can't do that and make them work correctly, then you need to be fired. The coach needs to go. Because most of the time it could just be the coach, the development or the position coach not instructing properly, or either change it up and put somebody else there and see what it looks like. None of that happened. So that's why people have a problem with the Saints. People are actually like, what's up with the Saints? Why y'all having because of that? I'm telling you, they're not a disciplined team. They're not an attention to detail consistent team. And that's why they lose to a Green Bay Packer team that you was beating. And then 11 minutes, 11 minutes to the game ends, and do you let them score 18 points and you was up by 17-0? That's what undisciplined teams do, because that's never supposed to happen. You're up 17 points, and then in 11 minutes, not even a full quarter, you give up 18 points to lose the game. That's what undisciplined, dumb teams do. They have a ton of pre-snap penalties. Their miscommunication between quarterback and wide receivers, offensive linemen don't block together in harmony to set up the holes so Alvin Kamara can get through there and make things happen. And that's what's confusion. It's confusion. If it's an organized team, confusion doesn't exist there because everybody know what they need to do. So, I mean, this is just facts, man. I'm hitting people with the facts and telling y'all the God honest truths about what's going on with this team. And the reason why they like that is because you got a coach on top of the team that is not a disciplinarian. He's not that. He's not attention to detail. I've been saying this for some time now. You can't get away from that. It won't magically, it won't appear magically out of the air somewhere, and then all of a sudden he's attention to detail. All of a sudden he's a disciplinarian, and his message is sticking from game to game. It won't happen like that. He has to make a change in philosophy. He, being the head coach, has to make a change in philosophy, and then have a certain set of rules and guidelines that he's going to follow by. And if players step out of line, no matter who they are, they're subject to that. If guys are grabbing face masks and pre-snapping and doing all this crap that hurts the team, they need to sit down for a couple of reps. You see what I'm saying? If there is an issue, you can't let guys that's false start and keep playing. There's no accountability there. Once again, he's not accountable. So these type of coaches don't usually go for it, because you need to have those other really good intangibles to be able to have success long range. And that's not just in football, that's in life. A consistent person gonna be the inconsistent person all the time. That's just commonsensical. A coded person gonna be the off-code person all the time. If there's a group of off-code people, the code people gonna beat them every time. That's just what it is. You can't exist outside of that reality. So, I mean, in the end, that's what it is. So, once again, the Saints, from an offensive standpoint, if they wanted to beat the Giants, They're going to have to, Derek Carr is going to have to look around the field and not look at one side of the field. You're going to have to span the field and find the correct target and throw the ball on them. Try not to force balls into double and triple coverage when there are better people out there, which will help if you do the first part of what I just said, span the field. Better blocking is needed by offensive line so our running attack can get going so we can take the pressure off the quarterback, who, by the way, is dealing with 2 concussions in 21 days, a toe-up shoulder, and 3 broken ribs. You damn well going to need the running attack. You should have Robinson activated for this game, and we should have 3 running back committee with the fullback used in power wide formation. We also should really start using Trevor Penning as a blocker at times to help the Saints run the football. He got to get on the field some kind of way. He's got to get on the field. He's a first-round draft pick. You just can't shelve him away. Some kind of way he has to make it back to the field and get his confidence up, because that don't help him to be benched. And because you, Dennis Allen, put him in a bad position. I told this dude, do not put Penning at no left tackle. That's a position that your best offensive tackle supposed to have. People say, no, Q's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. No, we're not fine. See how we look now? I said that. How you knew that? Because that's football common traditional thinking, that you always put your best tackle on the blind side of the quarterback. And even though Ramczyk is getting beat, he is making top 10 offensive lineman money. He needs to be at the money spot, which is the blind side spot, which is the position behind the quarterback. He's a right-handed quarterback. You know where his left is. You know what the blind side is if he's right-handed. He needs to be at the left tackle position. And I said it's not going to work. You don't use a rookie to protect the blind side of the quarterback. Then when the guys start losing, and they won't bench him. But see, this is the thing. This is about having common sense and football IQ. That don't make any sense. But will they change it? It'll take somebody else to fix that, man. But that should be fixed. But that's a whole nother subject. But outside of that, getting the running attack going, taking the pressure off the injured, banged up, staring half the field down ass quarterback that we got, and not throwing any interceptions. Did I throw that in there? Not turning the ball over, no interceptions, not staring down guys and throwing interceptions. Let me throw that in there just to say it, just in case you ain't tell me not to throw interceptions. You just told me to look over the field. Well, let me tell you not to throw interceptions too, and not fumble the ball away. You know, have a better grip on the ball when you get ready to toss the ball to Alvin Kamara, as opposed to let James Hurst pull in there and his finger pokes the ball out of your hand, and then you continue to move like you have the ball when you don't have the ball. And then when you get to the toss point, which is 5 yards away from where the ball was actually fumbled at, then pretend like, where's the ball at? This is crazy. But anyway, outside of that, that's what we need to happen. That's what we need to happen. We need the running attack to kind of help control the clock and that kind of stuff. And on defensive side of it, the Saints have to stop Saquon Barkley. They're going to have to limit the movement of DeVito, keep him contained to the pocket, and let him beat you from there without allowing him to leak out and improvise and throw the ball out here and this kind of stuff. They're going to have to do it. Like I said, they're going to have to change all these things, and they're going to have to do it, and not just for this matchup, because a lot of what they're going to do for this game, it has to carry over to the Rams game on Thursday, because it's a short week for them, and whatever they're going to do now, they're going to have to do it well so it carries over against the Rams on the road. So like I said, man, this is a part of the game where we're going to have to figure out, but this is money time for them. So there's no more excuses. If Dennis Allen wants to be here, and if he just feels like he deserves to be here, and he can shut me and your mouths up, if he can win 4 games and get the Saints into the playoffs, I will lay off of him. I will, because that's what I want anyway. I want him to win. I want to go to the playoffs. You know, so we'll see how it goes. All right. Shout out to the fam, man. Rain says Rain 1134 says, good point. When Group A missed that kick in Green Bay game, I knew we were going to lose, but a disciplined team would have bounced back next game. It is right. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
I want to say thank you very much for picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Been saying it for a while, bro. What's up, Don? He says in the Rams contract, they have to pay him a premium if he plays left tackle. Bro, we plan let's look at it like this, Don. We plan paying a premium for Carr right now. I know Lo just sitting there tickling, just laughing all because he talks about premiums. He's an insurance guy. So we talk about premiums, and we're talking about a car. He just loves that. That's insurance man stuff. But shout out to my dog Lauren and Coach Ronnie. But see, this is the thing as well. We're paying a premium for Carr. You know, they don't have a problem with that. You know, giving $150 million. if it protects Carr's blind side, it is worth the premium. If it protects him, and remember, Carr gets all this money. He'd make it 30-something odd million a year, right, for the Saints right now. You have Andrews Pete over there, who Pete gets just, come on. We know Ram's at least better than Pete, right? We can agree Ram is at least better than Pete. But it'll be a premium that you would want to pay because it is a position that is tied to the blind side of the quarterback. You will want to pay that premium to protect this guy who has all of these issues, concussions, broken ribs. What else did I miss out? Shoulder issues and whatever else they're not telling us about. Because you know there's more, right? You know there's always more. There's something else wrong with the guy. I don't even believe it was just 2. I think it was more than 2, but I'm just going to leave that alone. Time will tell. But I would pay the premium. The Saints don't have no issue paying the premium. I guarantee they're paying a premium for Dennis Allen's contract. I guarantee that's why it's secret and undisclosed. You don't, I say it over and over again. Y'all know it. I always say you do not disclose a average NFL contract for a NFL coach. If it's a common contract, you're going to release the details. The only reason why you don't is because it's above average contract, probably about $10 million a year, somewhere in that echelon, that they're overpaying this guy. And that is why they don't want to turn him loose. It's not because they love him so much. It's the devil's in the details. It's something with that contract. So, like I said, man, I'm keeping it $1.15. It's all about the money. But I would pay the premium to move Ram from right to left because he's making $10 million. I mean, not $10 million. He has a plus 10, top 10 ranked contract for a tackle. Top 10. I think it's top 5. So yes, I would move him to left tackle because I got to protect this $150 million quarterback, right? That's just common sense to me, and many other people. He needs to go on that side. Right. Yeah, we have to be able to figure this out some kind of way, fam, because we're not getting the results that we want. And in terms of that, and that's what I'm saying, limiting Saquon Barkley, he can't run for $1.50 and keeps this offense driving for the Giants. They don't care. They're playing. They know their playoff life is in trouble. They're a 5-8 team. Going 5-9 and lose it basically it doesn't officially eliminate them, but that kind of puts an issue with the Giants right now. But they have a energy they're playing with right now that the Saints simply don't have. Can we match that intensity? Can we match their, because they're coming in, they don't care. They're playing free. And those are usually the dangerous teams that we got to watch out for, plus the obvious stuff I talk about, the scrambling quarterback, just gave you the numbers on him, and Saquon Barkley, what he's able to do. So, there you go. All right, Rich says DA's making $8 million. Give me the article, bro. Throw it out to me. Now you think he worked? I'm estimated probably north of 8, bro. That who does that? Who pays this guy who has zero resume? The guy has, look, his record's up here. He's 21-45 as a head coach. Who gives a 21-45 coach a $8 to $10+ million contract? But a fool. So, like I said, man, it's all this is coming out, fam. Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. But yeah, this is the stuff we have to be able to do. So, like I said, family, right now, it's out before us. Here with what Cam said, it's out before us. Everything is out before them. You have 4 games remaining in the NFL regular season for the Saints. They're currently sitting in 3rd place. They say 3rd place. They say tied for 1st, but the 2 teams prior to you have the tiebreakers on you. So there is no room for error. You have to beat the Giants, you have to beat the Rams, and you have to beat Tampa and Atlanta at the end of the year. You do that, you're in the playoffs. Dennis Allen's job is saved. We break the 2-year slide from the playoffs, and they might get washed in the first round, but that's not the point. The point is they actually got to the playoffs, and that would be an accomplishment for Dennis Allen because he never did that before. That would be a new accomplishment for Dennis Allen, but it's before him. Will it happen? Man, we just got to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see how they happen. But me personally, I think that they get 2 of the 4 games. That's what, and he said, well, why that, Q? Because that's what they showed me. They're a half-ass team. Half-ass team means you cut it in half. 2 and 4. It's 2-2 over the next 4 games because they have not showed me consistently that they can play with sharp intelligence, discipline, that the coaches can coach the proper things that, stopping, because a lot of this is on the Saints offense. They have to be able to score points. They can't be kicking field goals all the time in these games. The defense will give you an opportunity in the game. The Saints offense have to take advantage of said opportunity. So that's what it basically comes down to, in my estimation. So anyway, if y'all got any quick questions, throw them in the chat, fam. Get out of here at 12:30 and let you guys have your day back. But I appreciate all the family members for being in the chat up in this thing. Y'all hit the like button. Please feel free to subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And shout out to the new family members that did subscribe, man. We appreciate you being here. And thanks for hitting that button. All right. Shout out to all y'all guys. Brother Tyrell says both Williams and Kamara should be 1,000 yards if the O-line played better. And if the coaches stop trying to have Carr to check it down. And bro, them stats are telling, isn't it? Well, I didn't even realize that. I was looking at it, and because there's so much going on, you kind of forget the little things. But if I would have told you with a month, we got 4 games left before the regular season ended, and Jamal Williams, who had 18 touchdowns last year, would have 0 touchdowns, you'd be, man, that's impossible. But it is. He has 0 rushing touchdowns right now. Alvin Kamara has 1 passing touchdown right now. That is unfathomable to me, that a guy as good as Alvin Kamara, who's a tremendous wide receiver, catching of the ball, an open field player, satellite back that does all this fantastic stuff, has 1 passing touchdown, 1 reception, touchdown. That is absolutely amazing to me. That is actually the thing. But then again, when you think about it, you kind of get your answer. All right. Yeah, all right. Shout out to, all right. Molly Mall, thank you, sir. Says Q, Mickey is a fool. Mickey has been having to do financial gymnastics with the salary cap for years. But see, he can do that forever as long as the team performs and they wins. But it turns into something when they start losing. Then it bites you. See, that's the thing. As long as they win, they can kick the can. That was old philosophy. But see, Mickey Loomis said several years ago, y'all put one in the chat if y'all remember this. Mickey Loomis said that they wanted to kind of steer things back to the center in terms of the accounting of how the Saints were handling the money with the team, which means they didn't want to do the kicking of the can because they basically sold the future of the team for the present. So when you have all these exorbitant contracts and you kicking them out down the years, that opens up all kind of stuff. So if you're not drafting correctly, and if you're not winning games, then this philosophy, it falls apart, and it falls apart very fast. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right. Thank you, Marley, for that super chat, brother. But indeed, yeah, that was a thing. But the issue is it's just not a good thing. And I have a problem with people who pretend that they're getting it right when they're getting it wrong. You're making mistakes and pretending like you're not making mistakes. He doesn't want to evaluate and do what a general manager is supposed to do. He's supposed to be looking over the manager's back and making sure the ship is on code, and not just believing what they're saying, but getting them to offer proof that you know what you're doing. But this dude doesn't operate that way. He believes foolishly in everything he says, and this man doesn't have the resume to do that. He's 21 and 45 as a head coach. You should be staring over his shoulder every time he walk in the building. Did you lock that door when you came in? Everything's supposed to be evaluated when we're dealing with a team like this right now. And they beating themselves in some of these games. Everything. And then when people from outside start getting more pressure on you, he's supposed to turn around and say, damn, where all this is coming from? Why everybody's upset? But instead, he's sitting up here taking a stance where you're wrong for being upset, and you need to just don't boo. Don't boo. Make sure, I ain't booing doesn't help us, guys. It doesn't help me. Well, cheering didn't help your ass. Look where you at. So we booing because you wasn't doing what you're supposed to do. You don't earn cheers for nothing. You get cheers when you execute, when you make a touchdown. When you have a successful run, people will cheer you. People are not crazy. Not all of them, but majority of people got good sense. They know when to cheer and when to boo. They boo when you do something stupid or do something you ain't got no business doing, like throwing interceptions. You gonna think they're gonna cheer for that? Crazy people, man. Crazy ass people. All right, Brent says it's third. Okay, he says thirds. He says thirst. place. Okay, it's third place, Big Q. Come on, man. There you go. Thank you, Brent.
Thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Come on, man.
Bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
All right, shout out to you, Brent. Appreciate you, bro. All right, Barbara, how you doing, Queen? Appreciate you being in the stream. Much love to Barbara. And shout out to all the queens and kings of the coma, man. We appreciate you. All right. All right. Rock says, y'all got this to stay. Now, tell them that, bro. We got to tell the Saints that, execute positively. It's just amazing because it's like, I know what propaganda looks like. And that's what the team was throwing at the family members. That's why the people they got upset. It's like, you can't tell them, to support the team. The team has to give a reason to the family members to cheer. If you're playing poorly, they're going to boo, regardless of how positive I am or anybody else. That's just the normal reaction. If you're playing stink and you're playing funky, you're playing below the standard of what we want you to do, and you're executing sloppy and doing all this stuff and you lose, people are not going to be happy about that, because that just means that you're ill prepared. You're out there wasting time. You're not taking it serious. That's what it is. A really prepared team doesn't play sloppy football like that. They're going to execute sharply. Now, they're not going to be perfect all the time, but the effort will always be there. I mean, you can see, okay, they trying. Because a lot of these losses that we had is because the Saints would turn the ball over. They would do something. They would fall apart at the wrong time. They would, miss field goals here or there. There'll be a fumble here. There'll be an interception here. There'll be a drop pass here. There'll be a guy throw incompletions. There'll be those type of things at the wrong time. We'll have opportunities and we don't take advantage of them. And then it goes back to, guys, y'all need to support, just stay positive. No, you want positivity, play positive. And people will respond with that energy, with the same energy. But no matter how positive the Who Dat Nation is, that doesn't impact the team. The team has to have the mentality to play righteous football. And when you do that, that will result in positive from the family base. See, they're reactors for whatever the Saints are doing. And that's what the Saints are trying to do. Is these people out here are they're just negative. No, you are giving negativity because it's funky, irrational style of game management and leader management. I don't even call it leader management, but Mickey Loomis not doing anything. He doesn't want to do anything. There's the tweet, I just put it up. They don't want to change the coach, despite the man is 21 and 40 something. You don't want to change him. What fool says that? If there is a coach out there like a Bill Belichick, if New England lets him go, or anybody that's of relevance that can turn the team around for the future, you don't sit up here and pretend like, oh, well, I want to keep this trash over here. I want to keep this losing ass coach. No, you want to go out and get the best that you can do. But see, they won't do that because it's a money component tied to Dennis Allen's contract that they have that they won't tell you. See, this is the game, man. People don't do stuff for nothing. It's always a ploy behind it. We talked about the car rib issue before they even said anything about it. I said, this dude got busted ribs. We knew it already because we know what we're looking at. It's easy to read these people, man. I've been doing it for years, man. For years, we've been sitting up here talking this stuff, knowing these people and how they act, because they do the same stuff over and over again, bro. They're so transparent. It's ridiculous. All right, Rain says, don't look past the Giants. House money is the best money. Indeed, bro. Shout out to you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right, thank you, Rain. Rich says, how much negativity, activity was there in 2014, 2015, 2016? When this team was Breeze and Peyton, they went 7-9. Now you remember the circumstances behind those years, but you're right, bro. You're right. And the issue is people had faith in Peyton, right? It's a difference, right? People had faith in Peyton because Peyton showed you that, hey, man, listen, we built this team. Katrina year, after the Katrina year, Peyton came in, brung his guys in, got Breeze, brung his guys in, and he basically had to construct the team from nothing because he didn't really have anything to build from after the storm. When he came here and found, put Drew here and built the team up, drafted, got Reggie, all this kind of stuff, and built the team up, and then he started winning. By that time, Sean Payton had unimaginable success from that time leaving up 2014, you see. And it wasn't a question that whether he could or couldn't. He already had a track record of success. So people already believed in him. You see what I'm saying? Because he showed people that he could do it. So it's not quite the same, right? Because you have a coach nowadays who hadn't won anything at any time. He never finished with a winning record, and his record as a coach is 21-45. So it's definitely like two ends of the spectrum when you got a guy like a Peyton who showed you he can win versus a guy that never won anything. I mean, almost like the polar opposite, you know what I'm saying? But thank you, Rich. Thank you for that.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, yeah, cheering for what? What's your cheering? Yeah, that's the thing. But that's what they say, man. I'm not saying I'm repeating the things that we played over the many weeks, the ridiculousness of what we're hearing from the propaganda, man. We don't want to hear, we know what propaganda, it don't work, bro. They got hard, thick heads. They don't understand that you don't play with the supporters like this. They want a winning product. You don't sit here and placate and make excuses for people that's not winning. That gets them really upset to the point where they take that money and put it back in their purse, put it back in their wallet, and they do something else with it. They go and invest it. They go and buy, do something else with it with the children, go buy a Christmas present. They do something else with it. Because you can't sit there and say, oh, y'all just come out and support and then throw the believe angle at you. Well, you got to believe. And people not buying the belief angle no more, bro. Because all of the, the believe, you got to give them something. It's still something there. You just can't ask for something and not get something in return. There is no faith in this head coach to turn it around. He will have to show the entire Who Dat Nation in the NFL football world that he has what it takes to turn this situation around. And it's not 1 week, it's the next 4 weeks. So this is part 1, and then part 4 would be at the end of the year against the Atlanta Falcons in the Dome. Parts 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. It's just like that. So, I mean, he has to do that. That's on him. That's why they paying him the money. That's why he's called the head coach. He would have to do that, and he never done it before. So, I mean, we'll see. People do stuff they never do before successfully, but is that what your coach going to do? We'll have to see. But the Saints are asking because they want to make money off you. They spent a lot of your money to build up the dome, and they need you to fill it up so they can make concession and merchandise. And I see this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And we are Saints family members. We drive the matrix. It's a massive machine, but you're the blood of the machine. You're the oil of the machine. The machine don't work if you're not lubricating the wheel. You're not in there lubricating the gears so it'll turn. It grinds to a stop and halt if you don't show up. It does. You shut the whole damn thing down. But see, that's the issue. The issue is, do you really want to play game? And that's when I'm speaking about the New Orleans Saints. I'm talking to Mickey Loomis. Do you really want to play games with us? We have already showed you that that family members were selling the seats to the Detroit people. They had a reporter shot a Twitter image of the lower bowl section was all Detroit people in there. Do you really want to play with us here? Or you won't get that shabby ass dude off there and go find a real head coach? You really want to play with us? You won't win against us. That's what I said the other show. You can't beat us. Number 1, we on code. Number 2, we know our place. And number 3, we understand that we at the top of the pyramid, not at the bottom. That if you are in control of the gears of the machine, but we are the people, it don't work without our participation. That's when you become on code. That's when things change. So hopefully this be an example of how people should behave together. Because regardless of where you come from or who you are, or what you believe, you on par with this. If you're a Saints person, you're saying you right, bro. You're 100%. I'm with you on that. And people are falling in line one after the other, one after the other. If you take that hardcore stance, and I really want to see it too. I really want to see them say, nah, we're going to keep doing this at the end of the year. And we think, I'm going to be clapping. But be clapping my hand like, yes, come on. Because it'll be the ultimate example on how you're going to beat these people. It'll be the ultimate. They're not going to play with you like that. I'm telling you, because when they start looking in the books, it's like, man, we got to do something. And not one person can stand in the way of them making a profit. If they got to get rid of Dennis Allen and this whole damn team to get that money back, they're going to get rid of them. Trust me. They don't love him that much. Let me tell you something, man. So just stay on code, man. Just stay on code, man. We're gonna get through this together. All right. Shout out to Brandy says protect Carcass for the check downs. Come on, man. For real, bro. He says his so-called leadership wasting a lot of time, talent, and time too, bro. For real. Thank you. Brent. Appreciate
I want
it.
to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Right. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate that, bro. Much love to you guys. Appreciate y'all. Super chats and cash apps. I think Maul, did I answer this one, bro? It says Q, you said Gail is overpaying for a coach and the QB to lead us nowhere. That's what I see. Well, I mean, like we're saying, Gail is, remember how this happens. Gail is, and I ain't gonna say she don't know football, because I think she a lot more into it than we are saying. She's not a, what is it? She ain't a football genius, but she follows the game. Like, remember when Tom Benson was there? She was there with Tom Benson. Before, they dated for many years before he passed, and they were together for many years before she passed. And she was there when he was at the games cheering, doing this thing. They was there, and Tom Benson was educating Gail about the game then. So she knows a lot more than what we giving her credit for. Now, we know she looked like she's a Southern Belle. We know that, but I'm telling you, she has a lot more football acumen than what we are realizing because of her tutelage she had from Tom Benson, who's hands on. He knew football. He knew, and he had a passion. He the one that kept Sean Payton together. Sean Payton head got all out of whack and blew up once Tom Benson left, because Tom Benson was the only other alpha dog in the building. When Tom Benson left and transitioned to the next world, man, that's when Peyton head got big, and Mickey Loomis and all them dudes just kissed, did whatever they did to make them happy. So, I mean, but I think she has a lot more football acumen than what we giving her credit to. Now, with that being said, she's believing what Mickey Loomis and the rest of the brass are telling her to do, because that's Tom Benson's guys that he picked. She's relying on who Tom Benson left her with. And they trust this guy. The guy been working for 20-something odd years. They like him a lot. So they don't see a lot of fault in him. It's just nice. He's a really good man. But outside of just being a really good, she said that about Elvin Gentry too. Oh, he's such a nice man. I'm like, whatever, Gail, that's cool. You just a nice person, whatever. But I just think at the end of the day, being a nice person and doing your job correctly is two different things. Now they can be the same, but if you're just a nice man, I just think, man, at the end of the day, man, it's just, something has to change, and it will change. And what it takes to make a change is when people don't show up to the games. Thank you, Mo.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
We'll see, man. At the end of the day, Gundam says, as the great Marshawn Lattimore once says, either you got it or you don't. Diaz lost in the sauce, no football operational planning or football situational awareness. Indeed. You're just a nice man. All right, so Roxas, can we trade you Tepper for getting? Nah, we keeping our Southern Belle, bro. You got to keep that hard head son of a gun over there, bro. Hard head guy over there. You can keep him, brother. All right, Gundam said the kids wanted to move the team to Santa. Yeah, because Tom Benson had businesses out there. He had car dealerships in Texas, based out of San Antonio. So they had an arrangement, a fallback option, and I don't think he was serious about it. But they had a fallback option where they was going to move the Saints to San Antonio. They were going to play out of the Alamo Dome, and they had a little thing saying the San Antonio Saints and all that kind of foolishness. But he was using them as leverage. He had no intention of moving the team. But at that time, that was the stiffest fight that he had with the city at that time. This is prior to Katrina, by the way. This is the time frame. And what really changed everything is when Katrina came in and destroyed the dome, tore the roof, sections of the roof out, flooded the floor, all this damage, and it was used as a situation of last resort. The dome was just literally just annihilated in terms of what happened. The arena too next door was also devastated. So they spent, literally hundreds of millions of dollars, and still are phases left. I think we're in the fourth phase. There's still another phase left of renovations that they used from that money and state money for these buildings. That really saved them. The storm saved them because they wanted an open air stadium that was paid for by the state. They wanted to use state and taxpayer money to build an open air stadium where the old War Lumber site is near the convention center. This is I know it because I'm a historian. I covered it all. The Saints, they were bucking them, and the people said, y'all bet not do that. Because the people was tired of them because they wasn't winning. They were terrible. The Aaron Brooks was running the team. They were a jokey team. It's not like you making these demands and you the Golden State Warriors. Y'all won three or four championships. You know, you got the best team in the game right now. You're like, man, yeah, y'all showing up. That wasn't the case. It was the exact opposite. The team was stink. They were playing bad. They were awful. They were a joke, and people were done with them. Katrina changed it all. The money came. They built the Superdome the way they wanted. They even restructured a lot of the stuff. I don't even like how the structure deals. I don't like the fact that there's an unelected group of people that control the revenue from the dome and the arena, which is taxpayer buildings set up there. They put their name on it and all that, and the people don't get nothing. That's a whole nother show. I don't like how these contracts are restructured either. If we first things first, getting on code, getting the team together, and then we stay on code, we could be able to change a lot of that, because you're really supposed to be getting money back from that, because that's your taxpayer dollars. If you live in a state that built that arena, you're supposed to be getting something for that. But how did they get the bank out? Something wrong here. So like I said, first things first, and maybe we can turn that around later. All right, so anyway, yeah, Rose says, I still can't get over Gail giving Mickey a game ball. That's 200 wins. That was something, because you got to understand, people don't do that for nothing. You dig? They gave him the game ball for 200 victories. A lot of that was under Coach Payton. We all know that. But the thing is, he been getting roughed up really bad in the press over the last several weeks. And yours truly been leading the charge. Because the reason why he getting roughed up is because his stupid stance. You don't sit here and make excuses for funky football play. That will piss us off. And we will run you off. And when he took that stance and stood in the way of Dennis Allen and all this bull crap and started actually trying to put a lot of blame on the people for booing and all this, and this dude, them people listen to all I say, and I always hit them with the real, because you couldn't pay an advisor to tell you what I'm telling you right now to do. You couldn't pay them millions of dollars up here and say, well, listen, man, maybe you should do this, that, and the third. And oh, thank you. Here's $1 million. This is free game. But usually people or fools pay for something that's free. They ain't get for free. Only a fool would. This is free game, and it's 100% truth and veritas. You need to execute, and you need to get Dennis Allen together. If you like him, make him change stuff. Change the play calling, offensively speaking. Put more pressure on him to do things differently in the offensive side of things. Put pressure on him to rectify the issues of the running game. You're his boss. You're the general manager. Your job is to manage. But he does nothing but placate and make excuses, and that incenses the Who Dat Nation. So they're like, yo, you the problem. Oh, you're the problem? You're going to stand up here and defend this? And that's what goes on. So at the end of the day, that's why people are looking. He's really getting beat up in the press lately. Even the reporters are doing, because the reporters, man, they know what time it is, man. They know bunk and BS, and the Saints quarterbacks, and the coach been caught lying. He was lying about the Derek Carr injury. I didn't know when he got hurt in the game. So you never read the medical reports that would have said he got broken ribs. X-ray would have showed you he got broken ribs after he got slammed down in the Green Bay game. Oh, I didn't know when it happened. I said it's lies. Derek Carson up there said we got the answers in the building several weeks ago, and they was just lying. You know, instead of lying, just solve something, man. Q Gundam says, Q, what's the status on the merchandise? It's definitely affecting them, bro, because they got all the people coming. You know something's up if they keep asking everybody to support. Jameis Winston, when he came out in the press conference, he was like, just please support us. It's more of they asking for more and more support. Why? Because people are not showing up to the games. The merchandising and all that's going down. And that's what it's people. Ain't nobody gonna show up to watch no games and you're not listening, man. I can understand if you fighting. But if you losing because you just being hard-headed, nobody gonna do that, man. I ain't got money to throw away on no team. Like I keep my shit. All right, so Hemisphere said, Q, I remember when Jeff Duncan said the other day about Haslett was so set on Aaron Brooks knowing he needed to change QBs that it caused Haslett to lose his job. Indeed, bro. Like a lot of people wanted Jake Delhomme to be here, and they kind of picked Brooks over Delhomme. And Delhomme went on to have a lot of success in Carolina, man. He even took that team to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it, but he took them to a Super Bowl. That's more than I could say about Aaron Brooks. You know, so I mean, in the end, it is what it is, man. And a lot of these people be too close to the picture. That's why you're supposed to have advisors there to say, listen, man, you might not want to piss these people off. You're trying to get money from them, right? Yeah, well, yeah, wow, yeah, we are. Well, you might want to kind of just go lean in there and go tell Dennis Allen, hey, you know what, Dennis, why don't you change up that play calling? You know, let's see what it looks like. You know, let's see what that looks like. And that at least shows that you're doing something, but he ain't doing nothing but making excuses. And that's why people are having issues with him. That's why people saying they want him up out of here. 20-something odd years of being a general manager right now. You got a capable guy like Kai sitting there in the reins, man. It's time for you to get up out of there anyway, dude. You got a VP job, keep the VP job, give the general manager job to Kai. Bottom line, man. Because you ain't doing nothing anyway. You ain't managing nothing. All right. Anyway, and the Rock says can't move the Saints from New Orleans. There's an institution in Nola, Bourbon Street, Saint. Yeah, I know. That's what we know that's what Tom Benson was doing. He was trying to play New Orleans against San Antonio. And ultimately it was a showdown because he never really didn't want it. Tom Benson is from this area, and he's a legend in many factors down here. So I mean, he's a guy that's all across, his aura's here in the city. He came up. He came up and, a poor guy he climbed to very high, standing in society before he ultimately transitioned. But he was a very successful person. And people like Tom Benson because Tom Benson knew football. He was the biggest supporter of the team. He was out there cheering. When they win, he'll do the Benson boogie. You get out there and dance. He was really charitable in the city. He would give money, spread his money around. So he was a guy that believed in charity. He was a guy that he did a lot of positive things. He wasn't perfect, but he did a lot of positive stuff for the area, for the community. Like Gail just gave a ton of money to the Children's Hospital. See, that's just interwoven in the Benson mindset. She just gave a ton of money to the hospital for the children, which is commendable. So like at the end of the day, you love what they do and how they do, but at the end of the day, this is a results-driven business. It's a result-driven business. You have to win to get the support. If you don't win, don't ask for support because you're not serious. If you're not putting in the effort, if guys out here false starting and making all these mistakes and the coach sitting up here staring at them and not checking them, then what I'm supposed to do? What I'm supposed to do? Am I not supposed to call it out? Then people will call me out. Say, Q, you seen that? Why you ain't calling it out? Well, I'm doing my best. Marley says, Q, if Kyle Harley gets the gym job, where does Jeff Ireland go? Well, he can stay right where he is. He can stay right where he is. I think he's the assistant general manager, isn't he? I think I'm gonna have to look at the hierarchy, but I think, yeah, Ireland is the assistant general manager. So you would think Jeff Ireland would be in line to get the job. I'm not mad at Ireland. Ireland has done that in the past with Green Bay, but it didn't work well. He got fired from over there and he came here, and he's really good at the scouting situation. In terms of like from the future standpoint, I would really want Kai to be the guy, to be the general manager. You keep Jeff Ireland right where he is. I mean, it is what it is, right? Kai is the guy. He's the guy that should be the next leg up. He should be somebody gonna take Kai from us, man. You gotta promote. I would rather lose a Jeff Ireland. I like Jeff Ireland. I love what he did with the scouting staff, but we really need a future guy there. After having a 20+ year guy, we need a guy there that can do it. Let him go get his own coach and let him take the team into the next 15+ years of football for the city. That's what I see. But Ireland would be a guy that I would keep Ireland where he is. Well, I would be my thing is I think Harley's more of the shining jewel. That no disrespect to Ireland because he's good at what he does, but I think if you really want this future to move forward, Kai Harley's the guy. He knows how to work all that money and do all that stuff, man. Same thing. All right. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Said the Saints told Benson you can move the team, but the Saints will stay in. Yeah, they was trying to, like I told you, man, y'all go back and look at that time period, man. But I'm dead on with it, man. I don't romanticize it. All right, Kai, what's up, fam? He says, yeah, give him the GM job. He deserve it. I would too, bro. I would too. We all can't be GMs. Kai, Barbara said Kai will never be the GM of the Saints. I hope you're wrong on that. All right. I hope you're wrong on that, Barbara. I hope you're wrong because Kai will be the guy. I hope Kai is the guy. We'll see. All right. So anyway, with that being said, fam, we're going to get ready to get out on that, man. Listen, I appreciate all y'all for chiming on this episode of the show. Yeah, we did the preview. Tomorrow we'll be back in full effect for the the play-by-play 11:45 on Sunday. We'll be back for the pregame, then the actual game, the play-by-play. We do all that here, and then the recap after the end of the matchup. We'll see if the Saints get the dub on the Giants. Hopefully they can make it pop. They have everything's in front of them. Everything is in front of this team to win. We'll see if they can put it all together, man, and make it pop. So anyway, with that being said, I'd like to give a shout out to all. Yeah, Barbara, I know. I mean, it's a future, man. Could you imagine a future where, and look, I told DC this, and DC was kind of, man, why you told me that? I said, DC, I was thinking, family, I'm going to share this with y'all. And I was saying to myself, I said, man, this will be the nightmare scenario for us as Who Dat family members over the next several years. If this timeline played out like this, y'all listen to this, then I'm going to turn y'all loose. Check this out. All right. Let's say, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is my nightmare scenario over the next several years for the Who Dat Nation. What it'll look like if these incidents or these situations occurred all together in the same timeline, right? Number one, the Saints, whether they win or lose, whether they win or lose, Dennis Allen is stuck with the Saints over the next several years. Let's say whether they win or lose these next 4 games, the Saints commit to Dennis Allen. I'm not saying that it is, but I'm just saying this is my nightmare scenario. They stick with Dennis Allen, right? And he got another couple years left. We don't know how long the contract is. It's all guesstimation anyway. They never told us anything, so it's just guesstimation. But let's say the Saints stick with Dennis Allen, right? The same year, right? They announced, Dennis is coming back. We decided he did enough to show us, and Dennis Allen's coming back. So that's one thing. And I'm like, damn, but it'll be cool. I'll be clapping my hands because I'm like, yeah, we can see watch the Who Dat Nation get on cold. We're going to, I would love to see that. But couple that and cobble that together with that the New England Patriots make a split with Bill Belichick. Let's say they decide to say, okay, Bill, we're going to go in a different direction. Bill Belichick gets released by the New England Patriots. The Carolina Panthers sign Bill Belichick as they fire their current general manager, which is, I forgot the guy's name. Rock, you put it in the chat. Federer. I think the guy's name is Federer. So they fire Federer. Tepper fires Federer and then makes Bill Belichick the coach and general manager of the Carolina Panthers, right? So he has Bryce there, and he has complete control of the resources to bring in whoever he wants to fix the team, all right? So you got Bill Belichick in the NFC South, right? You still got Dennis Allen there. So we stuck with Dennis. Carolina gets Bill Belichick. This is just my nightmare scenario, right? Y'all just hear me out, all right? In the draft comes along. The Atlanta Falcons decide that, hey, man, we got to move on from Desmond Ridder. He hadn't showed us anything, and besides, he's a second-round draft pick. And they've taken Jaden Daniels with the draft pick somewhere in 17 to 18 range or whatever they can pick at. Let's say Atlanta ends up with Jaden Daniels. So you can see how this is fastly turning into a nightmare of sorts, right? And no, we don't take a quarterback this year. We're not going to take a quarterback because he's not going to do anything that'll ruffle Derek Carr's feathers. So, and it's other stuff to it, but I told DC that. DC was like, oh, man, come on, bro. Keep your nightmares to yourself. I was like, bro, think about that. Bro, that just hit me. We just had finished the Pelican post-game report recap stream last night, and it just, when I went off, and DC, I was talking to him, and it hit me just like that, like an instinct, like a boom, all that hit me. And I was like, man, I sure hope I'm not tapping into something that's about to happen. Because I'm going to say it again. The Saints keep Dennis Allen. Whether he loses or wins, they keep him for the next year. The Patriots let Belichick go, and Belichick gets picked up by the Carolina Panthers. The draft comes along. Atlanta says we're going to move past Ridder. He's a second-round draft pick, and they take Jaden Daniels. So they'll get Jaden Daniels along with Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algieri, Drake London, and they still have assets they can add to improve the offense. And they add him into that equation along with all that offense. You got all that going on. plus Belichick down there with Carolina. And if you put Belichick there with Carolina, that's going to be a quick turnaround pretty fast, because he'll be able to know what to do to utilize and get things going. It won't be all that dysfunction. It won't be no guys not listening and guys fighting over control of this, that, and the third. No. It's leadership. We got one direction. We're going in the same direction. And all of them shut up, button up, and they go on code because of the man resume. We want to win. We're going to listen to him. Bro, that there, man, that will be awful for us, not just for that year, but the next several years, because we'll be stuck with Dennis Allen. Belichick's there. Jaden Daniels is in Atlanta running their offense. Ball. Could you imagine and how if we can't even wrangle or bring down second and third string quarterbacks and undrafted guys, and we got this guy running? Oh my God, bro, that hit me, and I was like, oh my, I hope I did not tap into something in the future. But man, listen, man, I just wanted to put that on y'all minds, because listen, I just had that thought. I was like, man, these streams would not be very fun, doing that. I know, bro. I know. All right, what's up, Brooks Door? Shout out to you, man. Chiming in from damn it, where you at over there, brother? Over there at Twitch. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. All right, long morning. All right, so anyway, that's enough, man. I got enough scaring y'all, man. That's enough of that. Listen, man, I'm gonna be back tomorrow, man, to talk to y'all about more Saints content. I appreciate all the family members. Shout out to the fam. Thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all for the love and everything like that. I appreciate everything that you guys doing. Thank you for hitting the like button, for the new subscribers and our established people as well, our YouTube membership and our Patreon family. Thank you guys as well. I want to say thank you for just doing what you're doing as we continue this really crazy ride that we're on with the black and gold. So I'm going to get out on that. I appreciate y'all, man. We're going to holler at y'all on the stream tomorrow. Much love, and who that to you.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Fucking like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That Too.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Home Beach